the Cubans. The military, the secret police, they're kind of running the country.
Who's that? Who's that? Who's that going to say something at the beginning of the show? Huh? Who was that? Huh? What are you going to say something? You going to say Happy New Year to everybody? Huh? You going to say Happy New Year to everybody? Huh? Okay, he's saying it. Ariel saying hi. Huh? Well, hopefully Chico will let us have a long show tonight. Huh? Huh? Samantha! Who's that? Who's that person? You're going to be famous. You're going to be famous on YouTube. Huh? Hey. Just like your brother. Where'd he go? Just like your brother. Oh. He started it. You're going to finish it. He's looking out the window.
The others, Iran, Hezbollah, I think you would agree, relatively small influences. But the Cuban influence, now we can cut off their oil.
Thanks, Samantha. Yeah. Dude was my baby, my first one. Oh, you ready to start the show? Huh? You gonna behave and be a good boy? Huh? Huh? He's not that big. He's a baby. What? All right, gonna behave. Oh, big baby. Yep. Dude was special. He was a special one. I got his photos. I got his ashes. He's with us. So I'm coming on early today because we got a big news day called, I guess. Oh, sorry to hear that. Yeah, it's hard to lose. Kay lost a few. Ann lost some. A lot of people lost. But the first hour we will do we'll do the shorts, and then when everybody gets in here, the one video that you guys were waiting for came out last night. The lady from Australia, Spas, she came out. So when we get everybody in here, we'll play. That's going to be an hour and a half. So, but that's that big one that everybody was waiting to hear. Michelle. Oh, hang on a second. Oh, hey, I'm going on early. I'm live. Yeah, you might want to hear. Bye.
The cavalry is at hand, and the Russians.
Mike. So the first two short videos, I'm gonna play the Kay was saying about J.D. Vance assassination attempt. I got two videos on that, JRL and Benny. Then we'll go to the short clips. So have everybody have all their drinks ready. Caffeine drinks. So we'll go ahead and get to the breaking news stuff with that first two videos. God dang it. Oh, I gotta log in again. God dang it. Hang on a second. Ah. I'll be there in a minute. Okay.
The story of J.D. Vance's assassination attempt, which is what it was,
This one is
this morning, is because J.D. Vance is just one in a very long line of proof of who our true enemy is. If J.D. Vance was home, this sociopath who attacked his house, who got so close that he was able to smash J.D. Vance's windows. Well, if you're able to smash his windows, if you're able to attack his windows, smash into his windows, how close are you to getting into his house? Well, very close, actually. Go back, please. Show me the windows. So he was able to smash a hammer through J.D. Vance's home. Well, that means that you could have pointed a gun directly at J.D. if he was standing in that room, his children, his wife. You know how horrifying this is? I do. Multiple people in federal prison right now because they've done the same thing to my house in their own, in different ways, gone up to me, attacked my family, threatened my family, threatened to kill us. This is terror. This is completely effed up, terrible. And you need to take these kind of things extremely seriously. It's not just leftists, Benny. Remember Josh Shapiro? He's the governor of Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania. He had his house lit on fire by a leftist. They never tell you these kind of things, man. Melissa Hortman. No, dude. All of these guys are leftists. The guy who lit, so here's what they're going to say to me. They're going to say, well, this is not just a one-side thing, Benny. You haven't talked about Melissa Hortman, and you haven't talked about Josh Shapiro.
Okay, second Billy came out.
The guy who attacked Josh Shapiro was a Free Palestine activist who was going after a Jewish governor of Pennsylvania. Pretty clear what he was trying to accomplish there. He did light his house on fire. And here's a photo of him. They're like trying to say, oh, I mean, he was MAGA. No, dude. This guy was actually so far left that he was attacking a Jewish governor who happened to be a Democrat. I don't think it would have mattered. Dude was like trying to, this is why, this was what was motivating the guy. He was actually farther left than Josh Shapiro. Melissa Hortman, we'll talk about that with in the Tim Walz. Why don't we save it for the Tim Walz block? But Melissa Hortman is the exact same situation. Where a man who has very close ties to Tim Walz, who's clearly no Republican, who openly says that it was Tim Walz ordering these assassinations. I mean, I don't have any evidence of that. I have circumstantial evidence, I suppose. The guy worked with Tim Walz. The guy's wife worked with Tim Walz. The guy keeps saying it was Tim Walz, and he had no King's flyers in the back of his car. Nobody's ever explained this. But also, like, there's no way to say that this guy was MAGA. He wasn't. He kills Melissa Hortman, who was the single vote that ended free health care for criminal aliens in Minnesota. And what we've learned is what a lucrative business that is over the break. And so, no, I'm not going to accept your false paradigm that it's a both sides issue. Political violence is a both sides issue. No, the bullets are only going one way. And they went towards J.D. Vance last night. Let's read the top line here from the New York Post. A man arrested after using hammer to break windows at J.D. Vance's home. A 26-year-old Ohio man was arrested for smashing J.D. Vance's house. William DeFore is his name. He's charged with obstructing official business, criminal damaging, and endangering, criminal trespass, vandalism, according to the Hamilton County Jail records. His first court appearance is Tuesday. He's like a psychotic, baby-faced loser. Here, look at this guy. The Associated Press, citing two law enforcement officials, reported that Secret Service agents heard loud noises at the home, smashing of the windows, broken windows with a hammer, trying to get into the house. Dude was able to get right up to J.D. Vance's house and enter his home. Thank God J.D. Vance wasn't there, he said in a statement on X. I appreciate everybody's well wishes after the attack on our home. As far as I can tell, it was crazy, dude, trying to hammer out my windows. Grateful to the Secret Service, Cincinnati Police. Just call it what it is. Call it what it is. The guy was able to walk right up to J.D. Vance's window and to enter his house by smashing a hammer through the glass. So that's a weapon that is now been inside of J.D. Vance's private residence. It's terrifying. So what if it was a gun? Again, what if you smashed the window and then you had a pistol, right? You had a handgun. And you could just, open fire into the house. What if JD's family was there? Thankfully, they weren't. Let's go ahead and read the full JD Vance statement here up on screen. I appreciate everybody's well wishes about the attack on our home. As far as I can tell, a crazy person tried to break in and hammering my windows. I'm grateful to the Secret Service and Cincinnati Police for responding so quickly. We weren't home. We had returned to D.C. One request the media. We try and protect our kids as much as possible from the realities of this life, public service. In that light, I'm skeptical of the news value of plastering images of our home with holes in the window. So he's saying, don't put the photos up. I mean, I don't know, man. Streisand effect. I guess it just is what it is. It's all over, it's all over social media right now. William DeFore. Let's just put up one more time this image and ask yourself, What do you think is going on here exactly? Same 1,000-yard stare, same completely like bugged out look, acne, like bowl cut mullet, terminal loser. Just got that Tyler Robinson, Matthew Crooks vibe going on, right? How many of these guys are ops? Yeah, so you can see the smash in windows. It's in a nice neighborhood of Cincinnati. And he bought the house in 2018. DeFore pleaded guilty to 2 counts of vandalism that caused more than $2,000 worth of damage to an interior design company. He was sentenced to treatment at a mental health facility for 2 years, required to pay $5,000 restitution. So the guy's already committing vandalism. I guess that you could I guess we're just going to have to see, but there's no way he doesn't know that this is the vice president's house. There's Secret Service there. Sorry, I'm not going to buy that it's just a random act. No, dude, no. It's J.D. Vance's house. I remember when J.D. Vance was selected as vice president, they had all the cameras outside of this house. There's the live shot outside of the house. And you could see the vehicles moving in and out. So, yeah. This is the enemy. This is the enemy.
Hey, Lori,
I disavow all drama.
Big show.
I disavow it. And
10-minute
these people will
here.
kill and continue to kill and continue to attack our families because this seems to be their only option now.
Yeah, the first 2 is about the assassination attempt. And then later, when we get everybody in here, we got an hour-and-a-half video of that one lady from Australia that everybody wanted to hear. Okay, we'll get this second. Oh, wait.
William DeFore arrested in connection with trying to break into Vice President J.D. Vance's Ohio home. Whoa, this is crazy.
I got
folks.
2 5-minute coming up.
This is a transgender. Goes by
by
Julia DeFore. Works at a children's hospital
and
from Ohio, Cincinnati, Ohio area. Arrested. Damage was done to J.D. Vance's home. This is crazy, folks. I did a deep dive into this guy or this girl. I want to share with you, and I want to share with you a news report about exactly what happened to J.D. Vance's home. I'm going to share that with you right here on this guy right here, and then we will further discuss. Check it out.
Well, breaking right now, there's a police investigation happening at the local home of Vice President J.D. Vance.
Yeah, we want to get right out to WCPO 9 News reporter Allie Kramer live from East Walnut Hills this morning. Allie, this is something we all woke up to. What have you learned in the last couple of hours?
And Kristen, even in just the last few minutes, I listened to 911 dispatch between Secret Service and those dispatchers saying that they were investigating what was a possible break-in or maybe a suspicious person. Cincinnati police tell us one person was taken into custody, but back out here live outside of J.D. Vance's home, these 2 white pillars, everything quiet here. There's always a minivan parked right here blocking the entrance to his driveway. As many of you know, his home sits on William Howard Taft just off of Columbia Parkway. So a busy thoroughfare, but it is pitch black out here. No one walking around or investigating. But we did see that increased police presence and Secret Service presence since about midnight here. Our cameras actually captured Secret Service agents looking around the home. And what looks like in this video, you see broken glass in the windows. We know Vice President Vance was in town in recent days because when he's here, the city of Cincinnati sets up major barricades and street closures that block any routine traffic from getting near his house. Those closures were expected to be in place from December 29th to January 4th, which was yesterday. They have since been lifted, telling us that really, essentially, Vice President Vance is no longer in town. Now, Cincinnati police told us that they are now turning over the investigation to Secret Service. A little bit before 5 o'clock, I saw 2 Secret Service agents walk into the home as if they're sort of doing a shift change of sorts. But again, all still up in the air. Working to get more information, guys. As soon as we hear that, we'll check back in just about 30 minutes.
Here he is, or here she is. William DeFore, a.k.a. Julia DeFore. This is the one. This is the individual who was arrested for trying to break in J.D. Vance's home in Ohio. It's the Facebook profile. And there's not much on it other than December 20th, 2025, started school at Cincinnati State Technical and Community College. So this individual that did this just started school December 20th. About what, 2 weeks ago? Look at this, December 31st, 2020, left University of Cincinnati College of Conservatory of Music. Graduated from Summit Country Day High School in 2018. There's a person here just started school. Here's no places of work. Basically the studies. Let's see who this person liked. Too Many Benny. CCS, Coalition for Community Safety. The heck is this? Dedicated to the health and well-being of our community. Heartland Trans Wellness. Heartland Trans Wellness. He or she liked. Following. Here's some of the people that this individual is following. Not many, but Heartland Trans Wellness, CCS Coalition.
Oh, I was trying
Kevin
to just
Taylor
a little bit early.
Simmons.
One video.
Kevin Taylor
And
Simmons.
this one.
This is who he's following.
We got the lady from Australia coming up. Here,
So, yeah. Friends list. Scrolling down. There's an Alex DeFore. Cincinnati. Brother, cousin. We didn't really do an extensive deep dive into this guy yet. Kathy DeFore. There's a Kathy DeFore.
Oh, shoot. So that was it with the, well, I stopped it to the a little bit. You saw all the other stuff. So I got 2 5-minute Patriot Princess about Venezuela president she's going to be talking about.
What if Nicolas Maduro was a good guy or did a deal and has information on the Clintons? Think about what he's being arrested for: narco-terrorism and cocaine. What was the Clintons' business in Arkansas before Bill Clinton became president? They were running cocaine deals. And think about the CIA and major false flag events. Think about when Bill Clinton first became president. The first thing that happened was the siege of Mount Carmel. Think about what was really going on at Mount Carmel. In my previous live shows with Anonymous, we told you that it was a major dropping point of cocaine between Dallas and Austin. What if that cocaine at Mount Carmel is connected to Nicolas Maduro and the Clintons? What if this is all connected with James Comey as well? Remember Comey's Instagram post, "Cool shell formation on my beach walk today." Look closely at the shells. 8 is one color, 6, 4, 7 is another color. 6 plus 4 plus 7 is 17, so that reads 817, which is David Koresh's birthday. David Koresh was the leader of Mount Carmel. Listen closely to the charges on Maduro's wife. Gun possession charges, same as David Koresh.
When you look at the charges here, narco-terrorism, cocaine importation, conspiracy, possession of machine guns and destructive devices, conspiracy to possess machine guns. The Weiss charges, cocaine, possession of machine guns.
What if this will all lead to taking the Clintons out? And what if Mount Carmel is one of the keystones? What if Nicolas Maduro and his wife, as well as David Koresh, helped get information to take the Clintons out?
Let's say you made it on time. Good. Started a little early, long show tonight. The lady from Australia's out.
Listen carefully to what Bill Barr says here. There's a lot of history of presidents using military force, targeting military force to take out threats.
History, presidents have had a lot of latitude deploying military forces and using force in a targeted way to deal with threats to the United States. They have been violating international law by using their sovereign territory and their de facto control to conduct hostile activities or slaughtering Americans.
That sounds exactly like what Bill Clinton did with Mount Carmel. He used military force to take out the entire place to get rid of any evidence of his cocaine running business. And listen closely, he says sovereign territory. What if there's sovereign territory in Arkansas, or what if Mount Carmel was sovereign territory? And this is where they do their dirty work, the cabal. They do their dirty work in these sovereign territories, like Vatican and Washington, D.C.
They have been violating international law by using their sovereign territory and their de facto control to conduct hostile activities or slaughtering Americans.
David Koresh is supposedly dead. But what if he's not? What if Q saved him? 2 days before the siege of Mount Carmel, a massive explosion happened at the World Trade Center in New York at 17 minutes past noon. This is even posted on the FBI website. 17 minutes past noon, this explosion happened at the World Trade Center 2 days before Mount Carmel happened. In New York, the same place that Nicolas Maduro is in right now. What if that was a comm by the good guys, by Q, saying that David Koresh, we're coming to extract you. We're going to save you, secretly. And look what we just saw on TV. We saw Nicolas Maduro do a perp walk with what looks like Mickey Mouse ears. Look closely. Perp walks 121. I see dead people 121. Top secret 121. Full stop 121. Sky event 121. Whiteout 121. Like snowed in, a whiteout. What if the Nicolas Maduro cocaine is linked to the Clintons and Mount Carmel and Comey? And remember the Comey post with the shells on the beach. It decodes to David Koresh's birthday, and David Koresh was the leader of Mount Carmel.
Okay, we'll get the second one. Oh man, what happened? Four minutes.
Okay, so let's think about this. Mainstream media is showing wall-to-wall coverage of Nicolas Maduro in New York and his trial, but they're not showing you anything about Comey's trial that's going on today. Q Post 3409. Smoke and mirrors, fake news media, enemy of the people. We know your playbook, mainstream media. Comey's trial is in Virginia, which is the headquarters of the CIA. CIA is a tool, is an arm of the cabal of the nation state of Israel. They work hand in hand with Mossad to fund and create false flags like George Floyd and 9/11 to throw us into chaos and wars. They also create the terrorist organizations themselves. The CIA are the ones who created Hamas, Taliban, Hezbollah, Boko Haram, Al-Qaeda, ISIS, the Houthis, Black Lives Matter, Facebook. The CIA says all these countries have weapons of mass destruction, but really do they? Look at what happened in Africa with Gaddafi. The truth was he was actually creating the United States of Africa, and he had gold and he was giving it back to the people, trying to empower his people and help his country and his currency. And Obama said that he had weapons of mass destruction and he was murdering people and he was horrible. And the mainstream media went along with it. Same with Saddam Hussein. Did he really have weapons of mass destruction, or did he have gold? And was he trying to empower his people and his currency? Is the CIA just trying to create these false flags and fall guys so that we can be thrown into chaos and war? And what was that explosion in Iran this morning? I think it's a coincidence that it happens on the same day as the trial of Comey. QPost 4957. What happens when you corner an animal? The CIA will stop at nothing to prevent the truth and justice from coming out. QPost 3409. Smoke and mirrors. Fake news media. Enemy of the people. The mainstream media is the enemy of the people, and it's an arm of the cabal. QPost 538. Beware of major false flag attempts this week. Change of news cycle will be needed.
Hey, there
Silence
you go.
187. Stolen elections 187. This is going to come down to the Smartmatics election fraud software that was headquartered in Venezuela. They never thought she would lose. That was their plan. Hillary getting into office. Stay frosty, patriots. Stay focused on Comey and the trial. Comey knew about the election fraud, but he did nothing. Comey knew about Gaza and the biolabs there. Comey knew about adrenochrome labs, organ harvesting labs. Comey knew about the Clintons and what they were shipping on those containers. Comey knew about the live art. Comey knows the CIA is dirty. Comey is one of the keystones. Remember what JFK said back in the day. I will splinter the CIA into 1,000 pieces and scatter it to the wind.
That was pretty good. Two short ones from Patriot Princess. Oh. Dang it. Okay. Uh-oh.
Do with that idea, you can fold it up really neatly and then shove it right up where the sun don't shine. Yeah, to Mr. Shlomo Kramer, with all due disrespect, sir, you don't get to pop up into an interview and tell the Americans that we should limit our First Amendment like it's some kind of terms of service update. Sir, this ain't some kind of app, okay, buddy? This is the American Constitution, the United States of America Constitution. We don't pause free speech because technology advances, okay? We don't suspend people's rights because BB feels freaking uncomfortable. And we sure as hell don't rewrite America's liberty because some billionaires feel uncomfortable of what they might say. If AI is dangerous, then why don't you regulate that crap? Misinformation is the problem, then why don't you tell the truth louder? But when your solution is maybe America shouldn't be allowed to speak so freely, it ain't got a damn thing to do with safety. That's all about control. See, America didn't become free by ranking voices or verified opinions or deciding who is allowed to speak. See, that's how authoritarian systems work, not the constitutional republic. Because see, the First Amendment exists precisely to protect speech. And that's what makes powerful people very nervous. You don't get to outsource American liberty to tech executives who have a savior complex. Absolutely not.
Okay, our other TikTok lady.
For his prosecution. Then a Democrat makes a stunning admission.
That is a real turnaround because you didn't want to vote for him.
I told you the reason. I want to tell you, I'm a believer.
Why the founder of Home Depot is now hopping aboard MAGA Express. As always, please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. A lot to cover today, so let's dive in. The Department of Education is bracing for nearly 1,400 layoffs after the Supreme Court cleared the way for the Trump administration to make the cuts. The president reacting this morning.
You know, we want to bring education back to the states, take the federal government out of it. A little tiny bit of supervision, but very little, almost nothing, like to make sure they speak English. We have school choice, and we're getting school choice approved all over the country. We just got it done in Texas, and school choice is the answer.
If the drama coming out of the State Department after minor cuts is any preview of what lies ahead, buckle up, folks.
Yeah, Jessica, yesterday was a dark day for American diplomacy and global leadership. What we witnessed was a bloodletting of the civil service and of the foreign service, of the people who protect us and make our country safe, make our country strong, take care of our American citizens overseas, the businesses who operate around the world, and really with no clear vision as to why.
These videos circulating on social media, these State Department employees openly weeping in the streets, it's wild. They're acting like Jenny from accounting just got drafted. Flashback to 2015. Obama gutted coal country. Thousands of jobs gone overnight. Not a peep of sympathy. Then on day one, Biden kills the Keystone Pipeline. 11,000 union jobs wiped out. The left applauded. But now we're supposed to light a candle for 2% of state employees who got 4 months of paid administrative leave, which is taxpayer funded, by the way. Representative Jim Jordan weighing in, writing, quote, Joe Biden fired American military heroes for not getting the COVID vaccine. The media didn't care. President Trump cuts 2% of State Department employees, and the media acts like the world is ending. Democrats also outraged over alligator Alcatraz.
They are using cages. These detainees are living in cages. The pictures that you've seen don't do it justice.
Yes. We're back to don't believe your lying eyes. For those that may not know, this is Debbie Wasserman Schultz. She's the same woman who once bragged about Obama's tough border policies when she was head of the DNC. In fact, she openly bragged about Obama having the most deportations in 2012 when the administration deported a total of 407,000 migrants. They used that talking point to get Obama reelected that year. And those infamous cages built under Obama. No beds, just floors. Adam Schiff better.
Okay, that's the first one.
It's unraveling fast. He sold the California dream and then turned it into a nightmare. He's letting California crumble under the weight of crime, homelessness, and high taxes while he's busy fundraising for a power grab and plotting his next political move. But he makes a fatal mistake, one so out of touch it doesn't just expose him, it ends his political career. The man is like a used car dealer who set the lot on fire and now wants to sell the ashes to the rest of America. Then a bombshell move out of Washington that has the deep state rattled, shaking up the very intel officials who helped push the Russia collusion hoax. So we've got Gavin selling wreckage and the deep state starting to sweat. One thing's clear. The House of Cards is starting to collapse. As always, please hit that like button for me and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because things are heating up as we head into the midterms. And looking even further ahead, there's one guy who has his eyes set on 2028. Gavin Newsom, he's apparently hired a team of snarky keyboard warriors just to tweet for him 24/7. It's basically an effort to be more like Trump. But let me tell you, their posts, they're not just crude, they're completely unhinged. Take this gem that is aimed at Dana Perino over at Fox News. She's a woman who's a total class act and always plays it fair. Newsom's official account tweeted, and I'm quoting, Dana Ding Dong Perino, never heard of her until today, is melting down because of me, Gavin C. Newsom. Fox hates that I'm America's most favorite governor, ratings king, saving America while Trump can't even conquer the big stairs on Air Force One anymore. Trump has lost his step and Fox is losing it because when I type, America now wins. Thank you to your attention to this matter. Okay, that is bizarre. Please tell me below your thoughts on this tactic, because in my opinion, there are so many things wrong with this tweet. First off, let's not forget, Newsom once supported the No Kings protest against Trump. Yet the gel might hold, but Gavin Newsom's political future, it's unraveling.
Get part 2 here and then part 3, and then we'll do Q.
Approval ratings are crashing and burning. Take a look. This is based on 30 separate polls, and they all have Newsom with a 27% favorability rating. That's not a win. That is a warning sign. Now, here are a couple more examples of his latest tweets. This one reads, quote, "Has anyone noticed that since I said I hate Kid Rock, he's no longer hot?" Not sure where he's going with that one. Very bizarre. And then he teed off on Greg Gutfeld, also at Fox News, writing, quote, "I seldom watch low-rated garbage man Greg Gutfeld, but when I do, I marvel at the fake laughter on the show. It sounds like a bad laugh machine. It's so obnoxious and disgusting, just like him, always laughing no matter what is said. Real patriots hate it when Fox edits the tapes, puts garbage man Greg on. Fox ought to get smart and not use losers like this. Also, they shouldn't allow negative ads about me. Thank you." Why shouldn't they allow negative ads about you? That's part of being a politician and running for office. Now, Newsom's clearly trying to mimic Trump's bombastic style. Loud tweets, personal attacks, nonstop drama. But it falls flat when you don't have winning policies or real ideas to point to. Trump has a base and bold agendas, even if controversial. Newsom, he's left with empty slogans and a state crumbling under his watch. Trying to play the tough guy on Twitter will not fix homelessness, crime, or even economic collapse. It just highlights how hollow his leadership really is. And Californians should have seen this coming, because remember this comment?
If you can't trust Gavin with his best friend's wife, how can you trust him with your state?
That cuts right to the core of his character and credibility. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Republicans dust off that line and use it for the next presidential debate. But it's not just about character. It's about priorities. And when you have MSNBC, typically a safe space for Democrats, when they start to turn against Newsom, you know the situation is dire.
See, the Democrats are trying to find their footing, and it's
now he's calling himself the ratings.
Okay, part 3.
fine, and say, just take a deep breath. Don't try to turn the ship 180 degrees and one. They don't know what to do. I have a good idea. Instead of trying to make school Donald Trump, talk into the camera about affordability. Talk about making groceries like more affordable. Talk about what you're going to do for housing. Donald Trump's not on the ballot in 26. He's not on the ballot in 28. Why try to drag Muhammad Ali in the ring when you got Chuck Wepner standing right in front of you? And Wepner's a bleeder. He's a bleeder. You want him. So why are you going, I'm going after Donald? No, you're not running against Donald Trump.
I never thought I'd say this, but I actually agree with Joe. The problem? Newsom can't credibly talk about affordability when he owns the crisis crushing California. Take this latest blow, for example. The chairman of Bed Bath & Beyond announces they will not open any retail stores in California, writing, quote, "We're taking a stand because it's time for common sense." His reasoning? High taxes, high fees, and forced unsustainable wages. He goes on to say, California has created one of the most overregulated, expensive, and risky environments for businesses in America. Maybe that explains why Gavin Newsom's latest fundraising stunt isn't for Californians. It's for everyone but them. The governor is shaking that digital tin cup nationwide, fueling talk that he's already plotting a 2028 presidential run. What's the money for? A shameless ballot push to let Democrats gerrymander California even harder. His revenge play, obviously, against Texas Republicans for redrawing their own maps. There's just one problem with this. Texas is allowed to redraw the lines mid-cycle, unlike California.
It's quite embarrassing, actually. I mean, Gavin
Hey,
Newsom, I mean, have you seen what he's doing online?
Q, I'm trying to find some. I haven't yet. You go.
About what I do is the fact that by keeping silent about something, people make up in their own minds what my particular position is on certain things. The big one being Israel. Many people on this same channel have accused me of being anti-Israel. And then in the same video, I've had the other side say that I am a full-on Zionist. Let me make something really, really clear. And this is going to upset some people, but I can only be as honest with you as I can be. I am not running a channel for Israel.
Thanks.
I am running a channel for America first. I'm not getting involved in what's going on in Israel. I don't study what's going on in Israel. I study what's going on right here in our homeland, in our country. I am an America first podcast. That's it. That's what I'm all about. And so I'm not about to delve into that. I will delve into what is best for America. Now, there's been a whole lot of people who have speculated about the reasons for us going into the country of Venezuela. Many people have said, well, the only reason we're there is because Israel needs the oil. And so Trump is doing that for Israel. I think Trump has kind of proved himself to be America first. Now, has he done things that have made me scratch my head? Certainly, he has made me scratch my head at times. But all I can do is continue to pray that he's going to do what is best for our country. And anyone who is not actively praying for the president of the United States is making a huge mistake. But heck, I prayed for all of our presidents. I do pray for all of our presidents because if America fails,
I got it, Mike.
We'll
play that shortly.
But at the end of the day, the people who are screaming that President Trump is simply working on behalf of Israel, we're going to find out. You guys have a fantastic opportunity here. So President Trump shot most of that down yesterday when they asked who was going to be running the country of Venezuela. Everyone assumed that it would be Maria Machado. Maria Machado is someone who is very much a pro Zionist individual. She has been in the opposition party. She has really, really pushed for Israel and said that Venezuela's foreign policy is Israel's foreign policy, that they are tied together. She's someone who many people have said that Trump would appoint or put into position of power at the behest of Israel. Trump shot it down over the weekend and said that she was not going to have the juice to be the leader there, that he was not interested in helping her get into leadership. So unless Trump has a complete change of mind, that's been shot down. In addition to that, the same people are saying, oh my gosh, we're about to go take him, meaning Maduro, to court, and he's going to be before one of the most anti-Trump judges in the country right now. That judge is going to be Alvin Hellerstein. Judge Alvin Hellerstein is someone who absolutely detests Trump, has voted against or has ruled against Trump on several occasions, including ruling against Donald Trump sending Venezuelans back to Venezuela. Now, the Jerusalem Post and many other Israeli publications are saying that it's a good thing that he is overseeing this trial, that he is a Orthodox Jew, this judge, and that he is going to rule against Maduro because Maduro is so anti-Israel, because Maduro has come across as being what they consider to be anti-Semitic. Well, we're going to find out a lot over the next several weeks as this trial goes on. We know that this judge will do everything he can to undermine the Trump administration. So we're going to find out exactly where this judge stands. Who does he hate more? Does he hate anti-Semitism more than he hates Donald Trump? We're going to find out, and I look forward to seeing how it all plays out. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys.
Okay, first cue. I got a 6-minute one. I'm not sure of, you guys, so let me know if I should stop it or play it, and then I'll do Mike's video.
And that's been kind of hard to find because these guys are pretty cowardly. You know, the military, you think I'm as big and bad. The U.S. military is so vulnerable right now because they're all going to be sick because of the vaccines. And they're hiding, suppressing the rates. I mean, the American citizens, we need to start preparing ourselves for what it looks like with no military to defend us. We need to think in those terms because military is gone, right? It's pretty much worthless. So I have not many, but I have a few students within the U.S. military, and they're holding their ground. And I had one woman, I can't say her name,
It's okay.
It's still ongoing. And she sat in with Navy JAG and the lieutenant and the master sergeant and a few people from the military on a meeting with the quantum grammar contracts out 2 days ago. And they admitted to her that the whole thing was fraud. And she called me on the phone. She goes, everything you said was correct. I can't believe it. You're right. The grammar. They know about it. I'm like, of course they know about it. I said, I've conducted the world's largest court-martialing in the history of planet Earth. You don't think they had 50 video cameras on me for nothing, do you? She's like, oh, I believe it. When are they going to release those videos? I was like, if they release those videos, you'll see all the cowardly generals, Flynn and Hagee and Mueller and all the ones from the past. They'll pop up because they were all court-martialed and all under AWOL charges right now, right? So she was like, man, they know all about this grammar. She says, I syntexed it right in front of them, and they told me that what they had was fraud. I says, what they have is fraud. She's like, well, I'm still unvaccinated, and I'm still in there. I says, you're still unvaccinated, and you're still in there. Good job. And so, yeah, so we're starting to see some headway. We had one gentleman in the Air Force. He ended up disqualifying his colonel, and that was pretty cool. And ended up making the claims for the guy's position as a colonel, and removing that, firing that colonel, and getting him out of the way through contract. So the Air Force has got some issues with that one. So that's coming up too. So I mean, we're holding our ground. We wish we had more people in there standing the fight for the soldiers, but you know what? I got what I got, and I'll take it because I love every one of those people. They care about the country. They care about themselves. They love themselves, right? They're not getting vaccinated. They love themselves. It's like, yeah, this is awesome. So, I've got what I got in the military. I've got a few other guys in the Marine Corps and, a few other people that are holding their ground too. So, it hopefully people learn from this. But, another thing is, so what if they're unvaccinated and they're around a bunch of other vaccinated soldiers? What about the shedding? So these are concerns that we have to deal with and think about. I'm looking at different plant medicines such as aloe vera and some other things to stop the shedding. I mean, there's some other things out there that are probably better, but it's going to be a problem for our soldiers that will stay unvaccinated and will stay in the military. We're finding out more facts about this guy Austin, who I have stuck in a court-martial right now, and he gets 29% of the money for all the vaccinated soldiers. So it's kind of a conflict of interest because he's telling them all to get vaccinated and he's being paid 29%. But they've done this for a long time. When I court-martialed Michael Colin Chertoff, head of Homeland Security in 2005, he was putting out the X-ray units at the airports, and he was a major shareholder behind all that to imprint through the electromagnetics of the people's frequency and imprint everybody. going through their x-ray machines. So I was trying to stop that in the court-martial, but and he was being paid a lot of money to crank out that equipment. So you find that these leaders have conflicts of interest because they're financially being bought off, even though they're giving commands to vaccinate the soldiers. And we're seeing that over and over and over again. Hey, they're unvaccinated, they're still in there, and they're putting up a good fight. And God bless them, and God bless them. They love all the citizens out here. They're like, man, we've got to stay unvaccinated. There's so few of us. What's going to happen? And the soldiers are actually telling me, they're like, yeah, we have all these people in our units. They're sick all the time now. They're watching it. People falling over and dying. I had one Marine that had 3 of his colleagues. He said they were like 6'5", 6'6". They were running with 50-pound ruck packs, 8 miles. The next thing you know, within 2 weeks, they're dead. I mean, it's a scam where them soldiers they're being killed. There's a war going on against them, and they're not smart enough to figure out what's going on, which is pretty amazing. The girl told me that did that. She said, Russell, I went in there, and they were all there, the JAG, and everybody was there. And she said, I was just so calm and peaceful and neutral, and I small talked with them. They told me I was a really good soldier, and I mean, I was happy for her. She did a really good job. So always stay peaceful and happy and neutral, and have a smile about you when you do these things.
Okay, I wasn't sure about that one, but Paul said it was good. That's what's his name? I can't remember. So I played Mike's video, and I'm going to play that Australia lady. Be a long one. God damn it. God dang it. Hold on a second.
In the hot seat. Why? Because the operation in Caracas isn't just about Maduro. It's an opening salvo against the British Empire. Here's what the president said.
So we have to do something because we lost. The real number is 300,000 people, in my opinion. They like to say 100,000. 100,000 is a lot of people, but the real number is 300,000 people. And we lost it to drugs, and they come in through the southern border, mostly the southern border. Plenty come in through Canada, too, by the way, in case you don't know.
But you're not supposed to notice that. The headlines covering that same press conference are focused on the usual targets, like this one in the New York Post. But while the empire's American propaganda arms want you focused on those usual suspects, by Sunday, the Canadians had figured out what I just told you. The editorial board of the Toronto Globe and Mail announced in their Sunday editorial that Venezuela's fate is a warning to Canada. Meanwhile, the rest of the narrative is being played out by the press, like the New York Times, which says that this is another regime change operation out of the Bush playbook, and that it's going to split the MAGA movement. And of course, the New York Times' favorite new political figure, Marjorie Taylor Greene, played her part in feeding into the MAGA split narrative. Meanwhile, the Democratic Party is playing its assigned role in the narrative, shrieking about Trump's actions, and some are already calling for his impeachment. But here's where it gets interesting. Some of Trump's opponents, like the former head of Britain's MI6 and walrus man John Bolton, immediately recognized that what the U.S. did in Venezuela was not a regime change operation. They're actually onto something. It isn't regime change. It's a surgical strike against the British Empire's irregular warfare, and a key component of that, which we have long called Dope Inc., the nexus of narcotics trafficking, terrorism, and the City of London's centered banking system. And today we're going to break that down. I'm Susan Kokinda. I've been tracking this since the 1970s, watching how the offshore banking operation was set up to sidestep regulation, sovereignty, and law enforcement. And I'm here to tell you that for the first time, someone is taking that on, and it's Donald Trump. So if this sounds like your kind of fight, please hit those like, share, and subscribe buttons so we can reach more people. Here's what we're going to cover today. First, it's not regime change, and the empire knows it. Second, how the empire's operations of dirty money is now in the crosshair, and the Russians know it, and how Trump is deploying to defeat all of these imperial operations. So let's clear up the biggest misconception right now. Many former MAGA allies, Candace Owens, Marjorie Taylor Greene, are screaming that this is neocon regime change 2.0. They're just looking at the surface or outright lying. But listen to Secretary of State Marco Rubio. He told us exactly what this is.
I want to start with this big picture question. Is the United States now at war with Venezuela?
There's not a war. I mean, we are at war against drug trafficking organizations. It's not a war against Venezuela. You cannot continue to have the largest oil reserves, in the world under the control of adversaries of the United States, not benefiting the people of Venezuela and stolen by a handful of oligarchs around the world, including inside of Venezuela, but not benefiting the people of that country.
Did you catch that? He didn't blame socialism. He didn't blame communism. He blamed oligarchs and drug trafficking organizations. Now, that takes us back to Trump and his targeting of Canada, which no one seems to want to talk about. Because when you put the words oligarchs and drug trafficking organizations in the same context, you aren't just talking about the cartels in Mexico or Colombia. You're talking about key characteristics of the British Empire, which is the epitome of oligarchy. Or to put it another way, the rule of the few, which is what oligarchy means. And when it comes to drug trafficking organizations, the British Empire has been the most notorious entity in the world when it comes to making money off of drug trafficking, going back over 200 years, including the notorious opium wars of the 19th century. This has never stopped. It's just taken a new form. And that's the importance of Canada in this picture. It is run by the empire's favorite central banker, Mark Carney, and it is the major political outpost for the crown in North America, used for drug trafficking, as the president mentioned, illegal immigration, and terrorism.
File your taxes 100% free in the app if you didn't file with us last year. Just file with TurboTax.
Unlike, say, someone like Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum, whom Trump accurately characterized as terrified of the cartels, Carney has actually facilitated the financing arm of the cartels in his former role as the head of the Bank of England. While no one else is picking up on the Canada angle, some interesting folks who are not exactly Trump supporters are picking up on another aspect of this, on the fact that what the U.S. did in Venezuela is not regime change. Let's start with the former head of MI6, Sir John Soros. He isn't clutching his pearls about democracy. He recognizes this for what it is. What Trump did is a demonstration of raw power that bypasses the empire's rules-based order.
Well, first of all, I think I'd be cautious about using the phrase regime change.
The Americans have abducted the leader of Venezuela, Maduro, and taken him to the US to stand trial. But they are now already dealing with the regime. The army remains in power, the legal structures of the regime remain unchanged, and they're already talking to Delcy Rodriguez, the vice president who's been sworn in as the new president of Venezuela, and distance themselves from the opposition. So this isn't the sort of regime change of the sort that we saw in Iraq, and is commensurate with the clear reluctance by Trump to put large-scale forces on the ground.
Sir John admitted this operation is new territory. He noted that Washington is already dealing with Maduro's successors and that the structures of the country remain. He knows this isn't Iraq, it isn't Tony Blair's regime change. It's something else. And he's not alone. Here's John Bolton.
But let's be clear, there's a big difference between getting Maduro and removing the regime. Right now, facts are scarce, that's for sure, but the regime is still in power. And Trump, inexplicably today at his news conference, took a shot at the Nobel Peace Prize winning leader of Venezuela's opposition, Mrs. Machado, said she didn't have the trust of the Venezuelan people. So I think there's a lot of lack of clarity, to say the least, in Trump's thinking on this. And it would be a hollow victory indeed if we snatched Maduro but left his regime in place.
When MI6 and John Bolton are admitting that this is not standard regime change, and Trump's allies are confused, you know you're watching a higher level of warfare. And this is exactly why you need to be plugged into Promethean Action. While so-called MAGA influencers are screaming regime change, but the former head of MI6 is calmly explaining that this is something entirely different, who do you think actually understands what's happening?
Yeah.
We've been tracking British imperial operations in irregular warfare for decades. We don't react. We don't chase headlines. We understand the enemy's playbook because we've studied it and fought it since the 1970s. So if you're tired of being confused by people who you think are on your side, subscribe to our free newsletter at Promethean Action. We'll help you see what Trump is actually doing so you can defend it and explain it to others.
5 minutes.
So head on over to Promethean Action and subscribe to our free newsletter. Now, here's what Trump is really going after. If this is a war on drug trafficking organizations and oligarchs, as Rubio says, then it is automatically a war on the global banking system, because you can't separate the two. The target isn't just jungle labs and drug boats. It's the city of London. Let's remember where Venezuela is. It borders the Caribbean. What else is in the Caribbean? The origin point for the infamous system of offshore banking established directly by the British. Back in 1960, the largest banking houses in London, working in partnership with the government and the Exchequer, established 14 completely secrecy jurisdictions. These are the offshore banking centers that now hold between $50 and $75 trillion, with all 50 of the world's largest banks operating within them. These offshore centers exist outside the control of sovereign governments. They're secret, they're unregulated, and they facilitate illegal activity. What we once had, a legitimate regulated banking system, has been transformed into a criminal enterprise. And interestingly, the Russians have known this for years and have been more vociferous about it than any Western government. In a 2014 speech, Viktor Ivanov, then Russia's top drug enforcement official, laid it out clearly in a Moscow conference. He said, "This allows us to confidently assert that narco money is the foundation of the modern financial system. It is not surprising that during the first peak of the financial crisis of 2008-2009, Antonio Costa from the UN announced that the top banks in the world dumped in around $352 billion of narco dollars to use for interbank borrowing to address the critical shortage of liquidity." And he goes on to make clear that the global financial system needs drug money to survive. The very existence of the global financial bubble, he said, is based on precisely this opportunity for banks to attract liquid narco money. In fact, this garbage fertilizes the present economic system. Now, this is a good time to remember that Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent recently commented that 50% of his job involves issues of national security. Now, think about it. Since we started targeting drug boats and lighting up the communications channels of the cartels and their financiers, I bet Treasury Secretary Bessent has been just as busy as Pete Hegseth. Now, Venezuela doesn't have to be a major producer of drugs. It's the facilitator for the spider web of narcotics, illegal immigration, and terrorism. And it's well known that Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Iranian Revolutionary Guard operate out of Venezuela. So think about the implications. Trump's moves on Venezuela hits at this nexus, and it effectively attacks the liquidity of the offshore banking system established by the British in the 1960s. He's cutting off the flow of fertilizer to the globalist oligarchs. And this brings us to the real issue, which is the fact that we are fighting not regular warfare, but irregular warfare. For decades, the British Empire and globalist banks have waged war on us using non-state actors, NGOs, terrorists, cartels, all of which are protected by their rules-based international order. A couple of my friends discussed this when they summed up their discussion on Venezuela. Here's what Crypto Rich and Tom Luongo said.
So here's Trump coming along, breaking the rules, which he has to do in order to defeat the international banking cartel, which is spawned out of the city of London.
Well, you can't play by their rules when their rules-based order is all based on
it favors them.
And it favors them. They set the game board up. And if you want to beat somebody, you can't play the game by their rules. It's basic Sun Tzu. Never fight on ground prepared by your enemy.
Tom's right. You can't defend your nation if you play by their rules. And the new national security strategy, which Rubio brought up in the above interview, says so. Just a reminder, here's what the national security strategy says about the elite's rules. They lashed American policy to a network of international institutions, some of which were driven by outright anti-Americanism and many by a transnationalism that explicitly seeks to dissolve individual state sovereignty. So, on behalf of all sovereign nations, Trump has taken the fight directly to those institutions, both the so-called legitimate ones like USAID, the NGOs, the nonprofits, the universities, and the illegitimate side, the cartels, the criminal empires, and their financiers. We're no longer playing by the rules of the rules-based order. And don't forget, it was Canada's Mark Carney who said that just a few months ago.
To uplift Americans on Medicare, his first Divine Act gives Medicare Americans a major new.
The old world of steady expansion of rules-based liberalized trade and investment, that world is gone. This is what this administration is taking on in their whole of government approach. No, it isn't regime change. It's the recognition that this is irregular warfare. And for the first time in the entire post-war period, the United States is actually fighting back. So here's the bottom line. While the talking heads and influencers are screaming about regime change and splitting MAGA, Donald Trump just declared war on the financial backbone of the British Empire. He's targeting the offshore banking system that has funded terrorism, cartels, and the destruction of sovereign nations for over 50 years. And he's just targeted Canada for good measure. The most ironic part? The enemy understands what Trump is doing better than many of his supposed allies. Sir John Sawers and John Bolton see it. And one of the other superpowers, Russia, has been warning about this for decades. But too many in the MAGA movement are stuck arguing about whether this is another neocon regime change, instead of recognizing that Trump has just launched the biggest offensive against the city of London since maybe the American Revolution. This is why we exist. Promethean action has been in this fight since the 1970s. We've exposed the offshore banking apparatus. We've been warning about British irregular warfare when everyone else thought we were crazy. Now Trump is doing what we've been advocating for decades. And we're here to make sure that you understand it so that you can defend it and amplify it. Go over to the Promethean Action website and subscribe to our free newsletter, become a paying member, support us financially, and check out our resources. This has been your Monday Brief. Thanks for watching.
Please take a moment and
Hey, that's another good video. Thanks, Mike. I'm going to play one of the Billy videos before we do the long, important video from Australia. $23 minutes. Mike in, sent that to me, Lori. Okay.
It's Christoporo, Hunter, New York Times. What's up with shipping? Promethean update.
Yeah, big video coming
Some
up.
of the things we'll cover. We have a secret plot by Delcy Rodriguez. She's the interim president of Venezuela to overthrow Maduro in 2025, a plot that President Trump said no to. And we're hearing there are explosions in Iran and that 15 oil tankers have ran the blockade in the Caribbean. I submit we'll soon see those 15 tankers in Venezuelan ports, I believe, replaced by the U.S. military. And Canada. So we can begin with Democratic Party. We have this in the governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz. He's the one who ran with Kamala as her vice president. Tim Walz, also a commie Dem, was running for his third term as governor in Minnesota, but in Minnesota is where the Somali welfare fraud has broken out, showing that top levels of the Minnesota government, including, I believe, the governor, Walz, were stealing money from the U.S. government via welfare and filtering that money down to Somali terrorists. So Tim Walz is dropping out of the governor race. So that's going on. Now we have this. So we know Friday night, the U.S. military went into the alleged president of Venezuela, Maduro's presidential palace in Caracas. There were 5 explosions along the coastline, taking out several military targets before the Army Delta Force came in to the presidential palace. I said in my previous video, the Delta Force and other military were inside the presidential palace in Venezuela for 1.5 to 2.5 hours. I said that there must be a lot of blood in the presidential palace. Now it's coming out that we had no deaths of U.S. troops. We had 2 U.S. troops who were wounded, but they're going to be okay. We understand those 2 woundings took place in other areas of Venezuela and not inside the presidential palace. However, inside the presidential palace, 100 people plus, and the number is climbing, met their death at the hands of the greatest military in the history of the world, the U.S. military. And that was Maduro's security, who were primarily Cuban and also from Iran. It's believed some IRGC were in there. And there were some some Venezuelan military who had decided not to cooperate with the U.S. and were inside the presidential palace to act as security. So before the U.S. military took Maduro, they killed 100 plus security. So, as I said, I believe there must be a lot of blood in that presidential palace, and so it is true. And not one U.S. military was killed or even wounded inside the presidential palace. So that's a mark of victory and a mark of competence for the high professionalism of the great U.S. military. And the numbers are being reported by Alex Cristoforo via the New York Times. So that's going on. And we have this. Yeah, more on Delcy Rodriguez, the current interim leader of Venezuela. So it appears that Delcy Rodriguez and her brother George were engaged in a coup attempt in 2025 and asked for a secret meeting in Doha, Qatar, with members of Qatar's leadership and government and a senior UAE royal. And the attempt between Rodriguez, her brother, and the Middle East, Qatar and the UAE were acting as a back channel to take this information from Rodriguez and to communicate then with President Trump. At that time in 2025, and make no mistake about it, this is classified information, which is now coming out via President Trump's team to let both the people of Venezuela, those in the government of Venezuela, and the world know who Delcy Rodriguez really is. I mean, if all you have to do is release information and let the internal workings in the Venezuelan government right itself, well, this would be one way to get that done. So this classified information is coming out from President Trump's team. So Delcy Rodriguez at that time put forth two proposals. One proposal was for Maduro to step down but remain in Venezuela, and for the U.S. to drop all criminal charges against Maduro, and for the U.S. To bring in U.S. oil companies into Venezuela to work the oil fields, and that Delcy Rodriguez would then be in control of the country. President Trump rejected this proposal. Delcy Rodriguez then made a second proposal that Delcy Rodriguez would head up a transition government while Maduro went into exile in Qatar or Turkey, and that President Trump also rejected the second proposal. Now it comes out President Trump's team is not only releasing this information via U.S. intel channels, but is also giving this information to Maduro, who was totally unaware of the secret meeting in Qatar and totally unaware of the coup attempt by Delcy Rodriguez in 2025. So that's going on. I submit President Trump now is putting this information out and letting the Venezuelan government and people make their choices about Delcy Rodriguez. So that's going on, and her brother George. Now, what do we have going on in the Middle East? So we have some intel coming out, and this is via Hal Turner, that the U.S. State Department has sent an urgent message to Qatar, Oman, and Turkey, plus other members of the Middle East Gulf Cooperative Council. The urgent diplomatic message is President Trump urges them to send a message to the Ayatollah Khamenei's regime that Ayatollah, as I reported earlier, as far as we know, the Ayatollah Khamenei did take a plane and leave Iran. Possibly his plane has been delayed or he's still making a decision. That's unknown. What we do know now is that Marco Rubio sent an urgent message to the Middle East Gulf Cooperative Council to send a message to Khamenei. Khamenei needs to get out of Iran so that there can be a change in government there, or face the same as Maduro faced. And this message came directly from the U.S. State Department to leading members in the Middle East. Khamenei, get out or face the same as Maduro. And we have this. Iran has been engaging in brutal actions against its people as its people protest a government that starves its people and also imposes harsh, brutal punishments on its people to keep them in line. The U.S. considers declassifying intel regarding the leaders in Iran. That's one option the U.S. has to release intel they have on Khamenei, Prigozhin, and other leaders in Iran to the people of Iran and the people of the world. Also offering money rewards to target certain leaders in Iran of two groups, the Basij, B-A-S-I-J, and the IRGC. And so that's going on. And this information came out earliest January 5 to today, about 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So President Trump is deadly serious. Also about regime change in Iran right now. And we have this. We have an unusual large number of U.S. military moving into the Middle East, as I reported in my previous video. And we have this. 3 times in the last week, Iran has tested their ICBMs. It's believed that the U.S. and Israel may hit Iran within 72 hours. We have this also, W77 reports that, yes, as I reported in my previous video, we have Night Stalkers going to the UK, believed to be going into Iran. Night Stalkers is a special forces U.S. military who come in on helicopters, Nighthawks, and Chinooks. And reports are coming out this afternoon that explosions are being heard in Iran. It's believed this is possibly sabotage or a result of the millions of people inside Iran who are revolting and in the process of overthrowing the government of Iran. We have this coming up, what's up with shipping, and I had other sources. So this afternoon, the headline is 15 oil tankers break through the U.S. military embargo of Venezuela. I have a different take on this. I believe that, let's be serious. You think an oil tanker can come against the U.S. military? No, I believe certain things. Number one, since the U.S. military had imposed this embargo, there were loaded oil tankers in the port of Venezuela. When this happens, the functioning oil fields have to go on something like a standby process. Those oil pumps have to keep pumping or they become stagnant. Now, since President Trump, part of his plan of revitalizing Venezuela includes bringing in U.S. oil companies to revitalize the 25-year-old structures in the oil fields, I submit 2 things. One, the oil companies advised President Trump he should let those oil tankers out so new empty tankers can come in and those oil fields can continue to pump and load oil. That's one. Number 2, I submit this possibility that this was a military move to clear the port of the oil tankers so that the U.S. military could come in. So that's what's going on. And we have this. We have this from Prometheus Update. Oh, yeah. I've been putting out the President Trump. Yes, I believe he will hit Cuba, Colombia, South Africa, and we'll take Greenland and other countries. Now, a country that was involved in the coup in the U.S. in 2020 has been tied back to CCP operators inside Canada. So Prometheus Update puts this out. President Trump also made a public statement that drugs were coming into the U.S. via Canada. Prometheus Update interprets this as Prometheus Update says, it was also interpreted the same way by the UK intel group MI6. And make no mistake about it, in the coup of 2020 in the U.S., overthrowing the vote of the people in the election President Trump in 2020 and installing a communist Dem, JB, Canada was involved in that. And also was the MI6, the intel group of the UK. And we know there were also traitors inside the US, CIA, FBI, and other government groups. We do have traitors also. But the MI6 was heavily involved in flipping the vote and the US presidential vote in 2020. So MI6 also reacted to President Trump's statement on Sunday and interpreted it.
Apple cider vinegar for toenail fungus?
Wrong.
What about Listerine?
Nope.
Vicks Vapo Rub?
As the U.S. Making some type of move against Canada very soon. And they recognize, the MI6 recognized that the Venezuela was not a regime change, but a strike at the city of London. So we're seeing several things here. We're seeing President Trump's team put out this classified information about Delcy Rodriguez's secret plot to overthrow Maduro in 2025 and letting the whole world know about it. To let the pot inside Venezuela begin to boil over by actions inside the Venezuelan government. And if President Trump's Maduro removal was not regime change, but a strike at MI6 and the deep state city of London, which is the center of the deep state's global financial center, he's making a good progress there. We know also that Iran was involved in the presidential coup in the U.S. in 2020. And we know that Iran has inside Venezuela, as do China, troops and weapons to strike at America. And we know that Iran and China have also been aiding and abetting Venezuela and other South American countries, most notably Colombia and Mexico. And the drugs and trafficking were also flowing through Canada. Now, it's my position that a government cannot be blind to these type activities on their soil unless they are evil and corrupt and are being paid off. So make no mistake about it. Trudeau's government knew about it and received a kickback from it. Now, the American people, with the backing of God, via the conduit of President Trump, is beginning to strike back at nations who have been intent on destroying America. So it's good to be in prayer for America, President Trump, the U.S. military, and world peace. I love you, and I'll see you soon.
Okay, I'm not going to be able to get that second one in, but that was a big one, 22 minutes for a second one that came out. So I'm going to play Terrence, and I think I'm going to finish off with that lady from Australia, the one that everybody's been waiting for. So we got our last big video.
Turn these things up. But anyways, it just dawned on me. And maybe I'm the only one, okay? But am I the only one who's wondering how in the world did these protesters get these highly produced signs so fast? No. Let's run down the timeline, okay? Help me do the math, okay? Maybe my math is bad, but there is no way these people can't be paid. So Donald Trump, President Trump, he captured Maduro at around 2 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, okay? Because he loved to do stuff in the middle of the night. So 2 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, Trump captured Maduro. By 7 a.m., a few hours later, thousands of people across America were in the streets with highly produced signs saying no war in Venezuela, no blood for oil. Who? How in the hell? They either have the equipment in their bedrooms to make these signs, but there is no way in the world that a president of the United States of America, the commander-in-chief, okay, can capture a narco dictator at 2 o'clock in the morning, and then by 7 a.m., a bunch of lunatic, unhinged liberals have all kind of signage, highly produced, about Venezuela and with Maduro's name printed on it and all highly, good quality print too. How did they get them that fast? Can somebody please sit, okay, what stores, what local shops are able to do that within a few hours? He captured Maduro at 2 o'clock in the morning. How the hell did they get a company to print these signs at 7 a.m.? And they had to print them at 6 a.m. because people had the signs at 7 a.m. Well, they had to print them at maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. These people had the signs at 7 o'clock in the morning. So maybe I'm not boo-boo-boo-boo, okay? I may have been born, but I wasn't born yesterday, okay? I was not born last night, okay? So somebody most definitely is getting paid.
Well, hey, that was it. Only 3 minutes. Our last video, because this is going to be an hour and a half. So this is one that everybody's been waiting for.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is Sizzling Sunday. Boy, does it come around rather quickly. Whilst we are waiting for everyone to get comfortable with getting their questions ready, let's have a look at what has happened. Oh my gosh, a lot has happened. Of course, we saw the whole Venezuela thing going down. Not to focus on it for too much,
hey, Robert,
because everyone else is. But just understand, this is to do with silver and gold.
This will be the last video for tonight.
You need to go through this with an open heart and an open mind, ladies and gentlemen. Put the armor of God, your Creator. Put it on. It's going to get really, really crazy. I am certain of that. Today, though, is of course the 4th of November. Just putting that out there. Tomorrow is the 5th of November. Remember the 5th of November. Did we just see our first two arrests, our 11.3 or our 3.11 marker? Mr. and Mrs. 2 adjoining queue posts, identical. We weren't expecting that, were we? Well, it's also very interesting. We did see, just before I went on to the show, was the ex-Israeli Prime Minister, Mr. Bennett, post a very cryptic video. Go check it out, ladies and gentlemen. Time is ticking. Very, very exciting. And of course, back on June the 1st in 2020, DJT tweeted, back then when it was still Twitter, November the 3rd. Oh, is this exciting or what? Is this the start? I believe so, ladies and gentlemen. I believe so. As I mentioned, I did mention John Podesta. He was in the Q posts. Now, it's regardless of whether you follow the Q posts or not is irrelevant. These are just simply markers that were indicated to us. But my connection with John Podesta and, of course, Maduro was part, of course, the former Clinton Foundation emerged from the WikiLeaks emails regarding the political position of Venezuelans. And, of course, they were tracking your US affairs and your US elections. That is still unfolding. So I'm wondering if this is a little push to escalate that. What's more exciting, ladies and gentlemen, before we get into Q&A, is let's talk about when does JFK's Executive Order 11110 come into play? That's the one that authorised the Treasury Secretary to issue silver certificates against the silver bullion, also shifting currency control to you, the people, and destroying the Federal Reserve completely. This also allows the release of the new US Treasury notes for circulation. Keep the faith, ladies and gentlemen, because I believe that happened on November the 1st, 2026. Just think about what I just said. Anyway, let's have a quick go through of the next sort of updates before Q&A. I see a few people have already got their hand up. Hold on tight, Robin. We are coming to see you in a short minute. Ethiopia, currencies are moving to strengthen their markets and they are doing massive amounts of restructuring. That's why I do a lot of the global news as well, ladies and gentlemen. Argentina, we touched on this one the other day. Of course, this was the dismantling of their system completely. And, of course, as I said, are they going to peg with the new Falkland Islands currency that they've just redenominated and that as well? We'll keep an eye on that one, but we'll touch on Brazil in a short minute. Egypt's banking reforms have been continuing onwards. They are under the progression, of course, of IMF, World Bank. That is actually BRICS working alongside of all of them as well, as we can see with all their trade deals and their new payment system. We post about Nigeria because the technology that's built in Nigeria, of course, we used to get scammed by a lot of Nigerians back in the day, didn't we? Well, they built all the technology and they also updated their Forex and they removed many of their artificial pegs that they had in their corrupt system. So, they, of course, again, they utilise this blockchain for all of that. The Turkey-Syria, wow, Syrian lira. We saw those videos. That's exciting. Turkey is also returning to the orthodox monetary policy. Now, what's very, very interesting, of course, is Russia has had a major involvement in the BRICS, as well as Africa and Turkey. And, of course, going back to the orthodox monetary system, does that mean they're in the Orthodox Christmas as well, January the 7th? Anyway, just a quick side note before I forget, there is a lot of people who are fleeing to Russia as well. What's doing there? We'll keep an eye on that. Sri Lanka, of course, defaulted many years ago, and they are recovering, of course, with their new notes, and they're still progressing with the IMF as well. Of course, Russia runs the parallel system that we've been talking about, and their currency control centre is there.
17 minutes, guys.
China, of course, the digital one, that's your cross-border payment rails. That's being utilised, of course, in Singapore and many other countries. But I did say we'll touch on Brazil very quickly. They are the global leader in the payment systems in November of 2020. Goes to show you just how corrupt Brazil was as well as Australia, because Australia did theirs in November 2020 as well. But Brazil certainly lead with their PIX system. They're settling, of course, in seconds using the Ripple blockchain. We're still waiting on the Clarity Act. Of course, it's advancing in January the 15th. Ooh, getting closer. Bulgaria, of course, is pegged now to the euro. It's adopted, obviously. There's a little bit of hoo-ha going on there, a little bit of corruption, but they will sort that out. And who do they peg with? We'll wait and see. Of course, Iran still got the protests. They are talking about deleting 4 zeros to their currencies. Again, like I said, their citizens are waiting to have their monthly payments. We'll see what happens there. Indonesia have a redenomination plan as well, set between 25 and 29. Iraq continues to deny any redenominations, but we know that's a lie because they have already printed their notes and they're just sitting in limbo waiting for that. So, of course, Zimbabwe, as we have seen over the last week, the ZIG notes with their enhanced features are also looking very exciting. Good to see Puerto Rico airport closed to Cuba ports. Of course, that's where the Caribbean islands all had this human trafficking and that as well. But ladies and gentlemen, this is not about me jibber-jabbering tonight. This is all about you. Silver is still shining and all is good. I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, all is very good in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now over to you. Oh, a few of them. Red Pearl and Tea. Where did the other ones disappear to? They got scared or got tired of waiting. But Red Pearl, we will allow you to speak. And Tea. So there you go. And Big Mike's in the house as well. I think he was one of the first ones I saw popping up. So who we got? Red Pill and Tea. Who is up first? Oh, Tea. Yes. Tea or Red Pill? Red
Hello.
Pill Bill, come on. Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Very well, thank you. What's happening?
Quick question, or actually comment. I noticed they're talking about Venezuela and the oil and all that, but it seems to me no one's really mentioning the fact that Venezuela is sitting on over 300 tons of unregistered silver.
Yeah, no, I did mention that. Yes, it's all about the silver.
Exactly. I think that's got a lot to do with what's going on too. Between
Venezuela and Greenland, I think we're in for a really exciting ride. We really, truly are. So, yeah, good pickup, Red Pill Bill.
I think the ball is rolling a lot faster. It's going to get very interesting very quickly.
It certainly is. And you have a lovely day. T, what's happening with Mr. T? Mrs. T, who is T? Work hard, play harder. Absolutely. T, come on down. Do. Just unmute yourself, darling.
I apologize, but I don't know how to put my hand down. I didn't even know I was putting my hand up. But
okay, that's okay.
But you're
here.
phenomenal. Keep doing what you're doing. I really appreciate it. I get a lot from you, so I thank you for doing it.
Thank you very
Keeping me
much.
straight. And I'm from America.
You are. Oh,
In Virginia.
I tell you what, you stay connected, sunshine, because I'm going to be floating around in a few weeks' time. So watch out. We'll have to catch up.
I'm thinking that the 7th is a good day.
Oh, absolutely. Why not? 7-11.
Yeah.
We saw many comms with 7-Eleven, didn't we? We've seen Elon post. And as I say, when November passes, we kind of like go, oh, nothing happened again. And but yeah, in the new calendar, there is a lot of talk about the new calendar being flipped at some point. So I'm looking forward to that very much.
I mean, are we going to go back to or do you think that we're going to go back to the Julian calendar?
I believe so. I posted the other day about the 13 moons and 13 and 11 and 12 months, 13 moons in 12 months. Like I said, there's many indicators, and how they go about it is anyone's guess. But
right.
I think they will. I think they will. Mind you, the calendar I think has been changed like 4 times since 1500s. So yeah, we thought it was only the once, but it's actually been about 3 or 4 times, I believe. So yeah, who knows? So
well, I'll get out of here, but thank you very much. I'll be listening.
That's fine. Okay, that's
have
not
a blessed
problem.
day now.
You too, hon. Thank you. Cherie Thorson. Oh, it's a touchy. It's touching. Oh, let the fingers do the talking tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Cherie, Sabine, and Starseed. I'll do all 3 of them while my fingers warm. Must be too cold. So like I said, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot to be very, very excited about. So who we got popping up? There was Starseed, Sabrine, and who was the other one?
Hi Mel, it's Sabina here. How are you?
How are
I'm
you?
from
Very
Queensland.
well, thank you. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm home already.
Yeah. It's pretty damn hot.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, and I'm chilling. So yeah. I
Look,
seem to be catching on.
I've got a question. Look, I've seen a lot of posts floating around of bank stories, especially coming from the US. People just, making appointments with the banks to see what's going on. What the banks are telling them is basically come back next week for appointments, etc. So I just wanted to know, how do we stand here in Australia? Do we go out before, it is official and talk to some banks, or, I heard HSBC will be one of the banks, but I don't know if any other banks will be on board as well. So I just wanted to know, would it be worth talking to any of the banks, or what is your suggestion there?
Oh, for Australia? Oh,
Yes.
geez. Yeah, I've spoken a lot about this, and over the time, of course, we all went down the road of going to see HSBC, talking to other managers and private bankers and managers and things like that as well. And to no prevail, except I did have a couple of wins in Australia. Now, my understanding is, based upon everything I know, is that there is 3 major redemption centres. Okay, 2 in the Brisbane, Queensland area, and 1 in the Sydney area. That's my understanding. However, I do believe that there is more than that. That's just one that was known of, and that, as I said, requiring further information as this unfolds, then that will all be revealed to you. I have different suggestions and different outlooks on different things, but I always get into trouble. People get upset. But in saying that, what it is that, as I said, these redemption centres are not utilised in a Pacific bank. Okay? They are simply banking and pegging to their system to give you the currency rates. So that's what they're utilising. Okay, so it could be in a it's going to be in a secure location. So let's have a look at the things that we can substantiate. If you're going to go into some form of redemption or redeeming or exchanging, you want that place to be fairly safe and secure, don't you?
Absolutely.
So absolutely. So a lot of these, I would go around and I would actually look at building structures right in the heart of the city where the big major banking centre or business centre is of those banks, and I'd look at them, go inside, introduce myself, have a look at what's on the board. And we had the opportunity to go up to the National Australia Bank private banking at one point. That was interesting. And we saw pictures in the US about these little cubicles and that, where people we believe have been set up. Well, I found them. I found a level that they were upgrading, so to speak, at that particular time. And it was a very safe, secure. It even had very special looking sensors, which I believe are part of your frequency readings and things like that as well. So, yeah, so very, very interesting times. But it was inside that building. It's not to say that it was National Australia Bank. They utilise specialised people from all different types of banks and exchanges who are specialised in that area. They've been trained, I believe, under HSBC to do this specific event, is my understanding. Okay, I'm just being very cautious.
Really to contact any bank at this point is probably not a good idea then?
No, I wouldn't bother, because they're going to once you have your money. So this is another side note. Okay, once you have received your funds and you have funds, it's much easier to then approach people like JB Weir and things like that as well for the wealth management services that are available. Okay.
Yeah, so no, I just meant prior to I don't
think so. And
so at the moment, because in the US it seems to be a little bit different. You know, they have Chase and they have, I don't know, Bank of America or whatever. They walk in there and they, a little bit more out there. You know, it seems to be a little bit hidden here.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I tried at one stage to ring HSBC. I couldn't even get through to a person I'd like to actually speak to. So it was really difficult to actually get to speak to someone.
I got to speak to her. I got to speak to the manager at HSBC in Perth. And that was interesting. That was very interesting.
Did they give you the thumbs up what's going to come or not?
Oh, look, she was, there was a group of about 9 of us actually, and the 9 of them saw me in full action. I kept rephrasing the question until she answered it. And then she answered the question about the quantum system. And then she said, and that's all I have to say about that. And sort of pushed us out the door. So, they're very, very hush-hush about it. And
so nothing, they didn't give you any info and go ahead on the currency exchange or the currency currency revaluation at all, or?
No, but I did find someone in National Australia Bank and ANZ who I found some information.
Sort of clued up. Okay. Well, that's a positive, I guess.
Yeah, look, it took a long time. I mean, you can ask 50 people and may only get one person, and you may not get anyone, but I was actually very blessed and lucky. So, it took a lot of work. I did a lot, but just hold on to your seat, sweetheart. Just sit back and just wait.
All righty, not a problem. Oh, thank you very much, and enjoy your time in the US.
I certainly will. Don't you worry about that.
Okay, doke. Thank you.
See you, honey.
Bye. Bye.
Cherie Thorson. Thanks, see you, darling. Cherie Thorson. I hope I spelled that correctly. Cherie. Unmute yourself, honey, and then we'll talk to Starseed.
I'd like to ask a question again, too, whenever you get a chance.
Okay, then, no worries, T. Too easy. Yeah, Cherie, how are you, darling?
Thank you. Hello, Mel. Oh, thank you so much. I love it when you come live. So thank you for all the effort to do that. Hey, I tried to figure out how to buy you a coffee, and I don't know how to buy you a coffee. How do I do that?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'll post the link up again. Someone else actually asked the same question. I think it's $5 US per month.
Okay.
Or you make a contribution if you just want to do a one-off contribution. So I'll
Okay.
put the link up again and I'll have a look at it because it's only while I'm over here in the States because I don't get any social security benefits while I'm out of Australia. So I had to do
and
something.
I would love to do a donation, buy you a coffee, and so yeah, that'd be great. Well, thank you. It sounds like from our last conversation with the caller, better to go with the redemption center. Just plan on walking in there when it's time with that appointment. Don't be thinking we're going to go into a local bank.
I don't think so. I love it. Yeah. So
okay. Well, thanks.
See.
I just wanted to ask.
Different over here.
Yeah. We're all learning, right? Well, how long will you be here in the States?
I'm here until early March.
Oh, wonderful. Cool.
I know.
Awesome.
I've got quite a few states to get to.
Yeah. Well, I'm in South Carolina. You're coming this way?
Yes, I am definitely coming that way. I'll be in Wisconsin. I'm in Florida. I'm in, a few Texas and Tennessee and a few other places. Yeah. So,
wonderful.
Getting booked now, getting booked out. So, I'm looking forward to it.
And then do you have a website or some other than Telegram here?
I'm going to do that. I've got done a whole heap of research on different things at the moment, and I'm going to do a website and put some other blogs about different things up on those blogs as well. So technology wise, it's really difficult when you're traveling as well, carting equipment and what have you. So. And I'm a bit limited on funds. So I will endeavour to get to that, or if I find someone that's very savvy that can do it for me, I'll buy them a coffee and they can do it for me. Can set it up.
Oh, no rush, no hurry.
I'll pass on the frequencies and they can do it for me. So,
right.
But no worries at all. I'll post that after the show. No worries, darling. Precious.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Bless you.
That's all right.
Enjoy your stay.
So we'll go to... Yeah, and you too, honey. We'll go to Starseed and then T can come and ask the questions. So Starseed, how are you?
Hey, Sister Mel, how are you, darling?
I'm very well. I'm waiting for your update.
Oh, my goodness, what excitement, eh? I can't say Happy New Year because it's going to be, I think, as you say, the Julian, which is on the 13th, I think 6 days after the 7th. So as a technicality, I'll tell you Happy New Year then. But what is exciting, I've got to say, as we know, December is number 10, right? And January ends up 11. How ironic. The 3rd, Venezuela has an event on the 3rd of the 11th, or the 11th of the 3rd. I am having a lot of fun with Grok and Ping It, and I use that notion of the law manual 11.4 with to Venezuela. And 11.4 with Trump saying they're going to be there. Look at it. It's around in that sense. It is in line with that because belligerent occupation. Well, we kind of removed that in Venezuela, and then 11.4 is the continuation, until it settles. So I thought that was very interesting, and that's playing well on my because I've got a little telegram that I have. Macedonia Rules on X. That one's getting a few views, but the one that really got a lot of views, which really surprised me, it's up to 842, is the silver bullet kills Wolf of Wall Street and returns the power back to Main Street, also known as We the People. And it agreed. It actually it went to that point with all the technicalities, and it came through that agreement. But it is also interesting, Mel, I've got to say, it's amazing. It is also interesting that 7-Eleven being Wednesday. I'm also Christian Orthodox. I'm Macedonian from background, and we do celebrate both, the 25th and also, the 7th when we do our Orthodox. I always, but it is very interesting. And I thought, well, that's actually interesting because we do want to embrace our Russian brothers, and who celebrate Christmas on the 7th. So it's only fitting in some ways if it's this alliance is all connected. So that I thought that was interesting. But there seems to be a lot of concept even in Slavonic. There's quite a trend moving on that. With even the Enoch had Slavonic manuscripts. So there's going to be a lot of interesting things down the track about that particular insight. I find that very interesting, but very exciting, Mel. I've got to say, very exciting. I am surprised you're there till March in USA. I mean, I want to come in and join you as soon as possible and celebrate and say thanks to America, especially the military, what they've done. It's just breathtaking.
Wow.
But my goodness, it's just, I can't put it into words what they've done. But on all fronts, Russia heavy lifting, China now doing the silver attack with the real silver is phenomenal. We've got them on every front. And the first arrest, I mean, here we go. We're virtually there, Mel. What do you think?
Oh, 100%.
Oh, 100%.
As I said, everything's ready.
Everything's ready.
Yeah.
So that's my little update to get everyone's vibes up because we're virtually there, guys. It really are. That's all I can say. And Daisy say HSBC, just kick back, just wait for that to arrive. I made that contact before, and I'm just kicking back now, just being patient.
Yep. That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. Perseverance and endurance. That's the test here. But yeah, thanks for your time again, Mel. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
My pleasure.
Okay. Just mute yourself, champion. That's it. Perfect. Oh, I just missed someone, Forever Gold, I think it was. I'm just about ready to think, but I will listen to T while T's going. Fresco Gold. There we Fresco Gold. That's it. I'm going to allow you and let's have a and PDQ. So go away, fire away, T. What's your question?
He actually just sparked something. Did he feel like, or do you feel like the first arrest has occurred, or is it still out there to be done?
I believe it's already happened. I think the 11-3 marker was yesterday. I saw the two, as I said, the two.
That could be true, you guys. You think the arrest on that guy, president from Venezuela? Dang it. What did I do wrong now? I lost it. I was under an hour. I gotta find it again. Okay. Dang it.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's have a and PDQ. So go away, far away, T. What's your question?
He actually just sparked something. Who did he feel like, or do you feel like the first arrest has occurred, or is it still out there to be done?
I believe it's already happened. I think the 11-3 marker was yesterday. I saw the two, as I said, the two Q posts that were repeat, Mr. and Mrs. Maduro. I believe that was that happened yesterday. And the fact that DJT on the 1st of June 2020 tweeted November the 3rd.
Very cool. Very cool.
I'm excited about that. Yes.
That I actually thought, I was thinking that yesterday too. I was thinking it would be American, someone in America, but that makes more sense because that's going to open the doors to so much more to be revealed, that they can use them to move to the next stage, next person, or next group of people. My real question, my major question was, are you familiar with the American rollout as well as the Australian, or more towards the Australian versus the American?
Oh, no. I'm fully aware of the American. That's why I'm here.
Okay, so and that's good. That's what I figured. So do you feel as though that that you hear stories about currency and it's going to go, I've heard the dinar going for $28.50. Is that something that you really feel as though it's going to be, or is it going to be more towards going off of what's on the Forex?
What's on the Forex?
That's what you feel. Okay. Yeah. That's what I feel like. I just don't, I think it's crazy the amount of money that they're talking about. That would just be an ungodly amount of money for everybody to get. I just can't imagine it being that much.
Here's a little side note, because you asked the right question. They are preferential rates, and those rates have been set, and they are already set in the SEC. Just duly noted.
In the SEC, you said they're set in the SEC. Okay.
In the SEC. Yeah.
Okay. And so the redemption center, because let's just say, somebody that's got Zim, they've got to go to the redemption center, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just trying to help people out, because I do talk to a lot of people.
And I'm very cautious about how much I say. That's all. I'm just.
I want you to know that I consider yourself as an opinion, and I'm not going to chastise you or crush you for it.
Okay.
At all, completely. But I respect it. Let me just say that. So I do thank you for taking the time and answering.
That's okay. Yeah. People
get crazy. They want it to believe something so bad, and so they don't want to hear the truth. And even though we're in a truth movement, it's just funny.
It is really funny, T, and I'm glad you bring that up too, because as I said, they all want the hopium. Oh, it's happening tomorrow. It's happening tomorrow. It's happening tomorrow. But I say a truth, and it ends up coming back to be 80% correct, and I go, that's what I've been saying, and it's like, I think staying true to yourself is very, very important. And I think just keeping it real. Keep it real. If it doesn't make logical sense, then question it again. And that's what you're doing. You're questioning. And that's what I love. Absolutely love that. And
well, I think that everyone, a lot of us got involved into this. I was thinking about this just today. A lot of us got involved into it because we were questioning. And the first thing to do is to say, make sure you keep questioning. Now they're getting mad because you still are questioning. Well, that's the premises of everything that we've got going on. You still got to question. You still got to make the question. Have the question.
Look, absolutely. And things have changed, T, since like 20 years ago when we thought there was going to be 800 numbers and this, that, and all the rest of it. I know that Bruce the Big Call, he did a very interesting post the other day, and he came out with some very different things to what he normally does. And I'm proud of him for that. I am proud of him for that, because we've become, those who have been in it for a long time have become, had conforming bias. We conform to what we believe to be true, but things have altered and changed Technology has changed. Safety and security has changed. We never thought 20 years ago when we were all involved in this was going to be run out the way it's run out. But they still run that same narrative because they're too scared to admit that things have changed or altered, and nobody likes change.
So if there's not
like
gonna,
I said, yeah.
if there's not going to be an 800 number, how do we find a redemption center?
Oh, easily. This is what I'm saying. It's going to be found. All you have to do is ask. You could ask any kind of currency exchange center. I think Seeds of Wisdom have just done an absolute update on how they're progressing with it as well. If you have X amount of currencies and it's too much for a, say, currency exchange center, then they will direct you. There's easy ways of explaining that answer.
Okay,
We just expect everything to be handed to us on a platter. It's not going to be like that. So, again, I'm not concerned at all. I think the way it's going to roll out is going to be, there's going to be enough for people to go and work out and figure it out for themselves.
Right.
That's where they need to go. You just go and ask, just like you have asked here.
Right.
You ask and you will find. So
you feel, I'm not asking you to name a name, but you feel as though that we could go at any time, not that we will, but do you feel like we could go at any time, or do you think it's going to be, a couple months down the road?
It could be, look, I'm going to be honest with you. You're asking a direct question, and then we'll get to Frisco Gold and others. But
thank you.
It's time between now and when I leave in March.
I did say that I thought we had until April 1st. I thought that might be the back wall personally, but that was just what I thought.
I mean, if I'm not saying if it happens tomorrow, is anyone going to care whether I said through till March? No.
Absolutely not.
But I'm not going to come on here and say, oh, it's happening on this day or it's happening on that day.
No, I don't want you to. That just creates a problem.
I am confident. I am very, very confident it will happen while I'm here.
Cool.
That I'm confident of. Okay.
You said you were talking to what was her name? Is it Holly?
Mm-hmm.
And you were talking to her, and the way that you guys, I couldn't really tell what you were saying. Basically, was it going to be? It could be 6 months, or could it? And this was, you said it a month ago, I think, and I just didn't know exactly what you were thinking. But it seemed like Holly was like, it's ready to go, and you were like, I'm not sure. But I felt like we were good here. We're good in this spot. So, but thank you very much.
My pleasure.
I'm out. Thank
You're too easy, Steve. No worries at all. It's lovely to talk to someone with that perspective. Frisco Gold. Come on down, honey. And then PDQ will help you on. She was unmuted for so long, and next minute, there he is. Hello. Hello. No. PDQ, you want to come on, darling? Unmute yourself.
Yeah, I'd like to.
Hey, how are you?
Good, thank you. Glad you're in the U.S. We've watched you for a long time.
Oh, thank you. It's finally here. It took me forever. It took me a long time to get here.
I got a question for you.
I think it's all doing God's timing. So it's all in God's timing. So I'm happy now. So yeah.
Trump said that there was one war left. Is this the Ukraine-Russia, and is that going to ever be taken care of and finished? Is that what we're waiting for?
I always thought it was China-Taiwan.
Okay, because in one of his posts, he said there's one more left, and that's still out there.
Like I said, yeah, who knows? I mean, it's a tough one because he's saying he's going after Cuba now. We've got Iran and all of them going off in the background about they're going to do this and
Laura,
this.
you're right.
The Russia-Ukraine thing, it looks like they're just going to do a peace deal. Looks like they're going to do a peace deal in Yemen. China, Taiwan. Yeah, I just don't know what's going to, or which one it's going to be. I mean, we weren't
45
expecting the
minutes,
first arrest, so-called, to be Venezuela's. So
who knows? A lot of information out
it's going
here.
to be a
And that's
surprise,
what
I'm
everybody
sure.
wanted to
So
hear.
there's a lot of stuff going on, but yeah.
I agree. And about the 12% of the world silver supply that left Venezuela, did America get it, or did it all go to China and Russia? I mean, I heard 2 planes landed in Miami.
Yeah, 2 planes landed in Miami. I do know that China is holding some, but that was due to currency swaps with the digital yuan. But I do believe that it's spread out everywhere, to be honest. I think it will support whatever currency swaps they've done. We talk about, countries purchasing different currencies. I know US did purchase a lot of Argentinian peso just recently, in the recent months. So as I said, interesting. But I do believe, 2 planes in Miami, and I believe there was several others, and some did go to China, is my understanding. So.
And I also saw that Bolivar has really dropped. Is that something we should look into, seeing as how we have some, or should we get some more?
Oh, not financial advice, but I'm sure it's going to be. It's going to be. If
really
anything that's crashing right now, Bulgaria, all that sort of stuff. Like I said, the Syrian currency being the lira. And I've sort of said this before, and a lot of people sort of get a little bit toey, but it's nothing to say that. Let's look at Iran and Iraq. Sorry, let's look at Iraq. It can certainly peg to the Kuwaiti dinar being the strongest currency in the world. It can peg to that.
Right,
it's a dinar.
that's true.
It's a dinar.
Oh, I believe that. Yeah, I believe it should go higher because they have more oil.
That's correct. Then you look at Syria and Iran, both reals. I happened to mention once before that they could peg easily to the Oman real. That's very strong. Look at your strong currencies. Yeah.
Yes.
Then you look at, there's many other currencies out there. So as I said, with the Turkish lira, it's almost like, bottomed out. It could certainly peg to the new Syrian lira, but I'm just trying to think who was the other strong lira. Can't remember now off the top of my head. I used to know it off by heart. But there's another country that has lira as well, and it's very, very strong. So so I've said this, with the technology that we have, that's quite easy to do though, and peg some. The Bulgaria one, that kind of got me a little bit. I'll have to look into that one a bit more and ask a few more questions in the know. But I can tell you now, they are looking extremely, extremely good. And you've got Hungary as well, mate. You've got Hungary. How many times has he turned up in the White House the last 3 or 4 months? The Hungarian Prime Minister. What's doing there?
Yeah. Then there's AgroChecks and Pango and.
Absolutely. So it's like, it's game on. It really, truly is game on. It is looking exceptional. So, so we'll wait and see. But
Thank you for all you do, Mel. Love you.
It's okay. My pleasure, sir. Not a problem at all. So, Fisco Gold, do you want to have a question, or you are just not really sure? Otherwise, I'm going to go to Jimmo. I'm going to unlock Jimmo, Red Cloud, and, of course, Colorado Mama to finish off as well. Red Cloud. She has a question, that lady. See if she gets. And Tribal Power. Okay, we'll do 3 and then Colorado Mama. There we go. You stick right there. Oh, Back's Golden Child. Oh, yes. Who we got coming up? Da, 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 da. The feed is a bit slow, ladies and gentlemen. So I do apologise. Just unmute yourself. Jimmo, how are you?
Hi, Mel. This is Jim O's wife.
Oh, that's okay. Well, I'm happy to talk to his wife. Oh my gosh. He's probably driving or something, but anyway. So.
And I wanted to say that we watch you whenever we can, and we love you very much.
Oh, thank you. Love you too. Sending you back. Oh.
Thank you. Thank you.
So whereabouts are you in the States? Whereabouts?
We live in New York.
Oh, perfect. Going there.
Are you coming?
Wonderful.
Oh,
yes,
wow.
I am.
Wow.
So we'll have to catch up. We'll have to make a date.
Yes. I get to see you. Oh, boy.
We will make a date.
Oh, yes. Let's do it.
Yeah. So,
okay, Mel, my question. President Trump mentioned Mexico. Do you have any idea of what he's talking about with Mexico? Cartels? What's going on? You got any idea?
Oh, it's all got to do with the currency, I can tell you now. Okay, so Mexico, peso, right? Now, let me throw this out there, just a little feeler, because I've got to give you something new every now and again. When the Stellar Network was put together, they actually used the Mexican peso as their example to go 1-to-1. Now, what's in Mexico? What kind of minerals and that do they have in Mexico?
Oh, boy.
I think it's copper, silver, zinc. They have a lot.
Wow.
They have a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
So again, it's the same with I think like I said, he's going after Cuba as well. So
yes,
let it roll out. I think it's so we've seen over the time the 51st, 52nd, 53rd, 54th state come into play.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And this is basically taking it under control of the new republic until such time as they have new elections, and then they can get back their country back into their own sovereign state, so to speak. But the Mexican peso, yes, go look it up, ladies and gentlemen. It is in Starlink Network white papers. They specifically mention Mexican peso 1-to-1. Yes.
Wow.
So there you go. Yeah.
We got the message.
Okay.
Thank you, Mel.
What message was that, darling? Not financial advice at all.
No way.
So they're looking exceptionally good. As I said, they built the wall for a reason. Of course, that is also a frequency wall. So it's not just a wall out. So that will be very, very exciting. Well, listen, make sure you say hello to the actual real Jim O. Hello, Jim O, out there driving. So hopefully she's not driving you too much, but yeah. Looking forward to catching up with you in New York. That is for certain. We will do New York.
Yes, I can't wait, Mel. Let us know where you're going to be.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. If you're a subscriber, I should be able to send you a private message. So happy days. Yeah.
Okay. God bless you. See you soon.
You too, honey. You too.
You. Okay.
My pleasure. Okay, Red Cloud. Oh, cool. Red Cloud, how are you? Yeah, you have to unmute yourself, honey.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I am awesome. Very, very awesome. So lovely to be here.
I know everybody interesting on a currency and when we get the money, but my question is that who is the Julian Assange and what is his role with the WikiLeaks? Can you just explain?
Let's go there. Let's do a little exploring, shall we?
Yeah, maybe we have to remind people what was about.
Oh, absolutely. And I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to give you a little different perspective like I did with Jimmo. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, all right. Let's do this part then. So Julian Assange, we knew him, of course, to be the speaker of what we call WikiLeaks. This is all to do with, of course, the hidden emails and this, that, and all the rest of it regarding the corruption of the whole system. But what was his actual role? How did he get that role? Like, how did he, apparently he set up.
Darn it. We got 35 minutes we were at.
It's actually a beautiful country, by the way. I hope to visit it one day and spend some quality time there. There's some beautiful places to visit, and it's safe. So let's look at WikiLeaks. Wiki. If you were to refer to Julian Assange himself, this is just a random side note, ladies and gentlemen, just for shits and giggles.
Everybody okay so far?
Assange is actually a blood-sucking insect. Very interesting, isn't it? His father, his actual biological father, believe it or not, was an actor in a TV series called Home and Away in Australia. Quite profound. Now, Home and Away's story is basically lost children, let's say. Then we move on, of course, to his beautiful wife, Stella. Always watch the wives, they say. You might like to have a look into that. But anyway, he finally, eventually, after all of this time, has these WikiLeaks documents that he's been holding on to. And he gets released. And he leaves England. He's extradited back to Australia. But he stopped over in a little island called Guam. Guam, G-U-A-M. It's a military base / prison. Very interesting place. He was greeted, funnily enough, by a gentleman who DJT called out just recently on our Australian illustrious visit from Albanese. And DJT looks across the room and says, "Oh, I remember you. You're the one that spoke bad about me on Twitter at this so-called Kevin Rudd, who met Julian Assange in Guam, and kissed and hugged him. Red Shoe Club." Very interesting. Anyway, I digress. So he is met with this guy that DJT has pointed out that I don't like you. Kevin Rudd, Kevin07, is part of the Red Shoe Club. Distasted DJT many, many times, gets called out, and then Julian comes home, but we never hear anything about WikiLeaks. Now, just a fun, again, not criticising, just some fun facts. Wiki, isn't that Mickey on the other side? WikiLeaks, Wikipedia, and we rely on these things for credibility. Hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. This roller coaster ride is going to be very, very exciting, to say the least. WikiLeaks, who knows? We all focus, of course, on Epstein files because we all want to go and attack DJT for going there and this, that, and all the rest of it. But WikiLeaks, who's that? Who and what is that, really? Seriously. You have to ask the question, how did he put it all together? Very interesting, isn't it? An Australian guy who was, I think, born in Townsville in Queensland, I believe, or lives there. And it's like, how did he come about this WikiLeaks? Wikipedia. And yet we do our research with Wikipedia. It's interesting, isn't it? Just a different perspective, Red Cloud. Just a different perspective. We will see what transpires and what comes out of that. I think they're still sort of pushing the Epstein files, but who knows? Who knows? But just a little side note for all of that. We will see.
That's a good one. I didn't
I thought you might like that. You know, just something a little different, you know, than about the currencies. But it does give people a different perspective. Like I said, anything that's thrown out there to be bad is generally good. What is good can generally be a little questionable at times. And is it going to be exactly what we think it's going to be? When he pointed out Kevin 07, oh, geez whiz, it took me straight back to Julian Assange. Wow. We'll see what happens. Is it good, bad, or indifferent? I think it's more exposure. Yeah.
Yep. I'm looking forward to find out too.
Well, thank you to the beautiful Red Cloud. She is the most amazing, amazing people. Love you, and love to everyone, of course, in India as well.
Karen S is hang on the hand. Just go.
Oh, okay. I'm going to do Karen S. Thank you for that. Yes.
Yeah, you have a few people. Okay.
I do have a few people. I'm Susan S. You are definitely up according to my admin. You are definitely up for grabs, honey. Come and say a quick hello. Susan S., there you are. She must have been for a while. Dun, dun, dun.
Hello.
Karen S. Ah, there you go. Yes, I can hear you. All right.
Over here. So, the New World Order.
Yes. What about it?
You said you read the document. I'm wondering what you thought of it.
New World Order. Gee, there's some tough questions tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I tell you what, it's a bit cheeky, isn't it? The New World Order. Has anyone actually read it? Has anyone actually read it? Because I tell you what, you want to be reading it. This was the plan. And this one actually takes me back. I'm actually going to go back a little bit in history. A lot of people we followed, of course, oh, yes, happy 17th birthday to Bitcoin, because this is tied up with all of that as well. So happy 17th birthday as of yesterday for Bitcoin. The reason I bring that up is, of course, we talk about the New World Order, we talk about World Economic Forum, we talk about many interesting aspects to what is going on in all of that. I'm just going to try and put you on mute. There we go. There we go. So, New World Order. When you actually read through the actual program, ladies and gentlemen, it's quite interesting about where we are right now. If you were to look at the very first concept, of course, was XRP. And that was kept under the control of that New World Order / World Economic Forum. And they kept it under wraps because they couldn't break it. They didn't want it to leak. Just as the New World Order that I've read, they didn't want it to leak. Understand as we progress through all of this, and we're starting to see many beautiful articles. I saw one from Ethiopia the other day under the proviso of United Nations. They all come under this New World Order banner. But understand this, what could have been, would have been many, many bad people who would have destroyed your new world. The New World Order, ladies and gentlemen, is not as bad as what you portrayed, just as we just found out about WikiLeaks. The New World Order is something that we will definitely deep dive into. And I've done several conferences now on the New World Order. And I've go through the process of actually discussing what their actual plan was. And I normally often say to people, geez, now, does that sound good or bad to you, ladies and gentlemen? And 100% responses are always, it's good. It pulls on your heartstrings, doesn't it? But this movie was always going to pull on your heartstrings. It's like I happened to mention the other day, will the man go to the moon? Or has he already been to the moon? I happened to mention that, didn't I? And DJT comes out and says, oh, I think we should go to the moon before I finish my term off. Very, very interesting times we are living in. It's one of those things, as I said, we have to go through that one on a bigger scale, so as people don't lose their bananas over all of this. But parts of what we are actually going through is a new world, and there will be order, okay? So hold on to your hats. As I said, let's talk more about what's going on, where we're going, and what we're going to be doing in the next, say, week or so. It's going to be very, very interesting, and we should bring that up again, actually, and digress, because we saw over the time I've talked about the World Economic Forum being split or broken under the Western Forum, the Eastern Forum, and now the International Forum. United Nations will also have a change of names. It'll be called Nations United, not United Nations. All of these things will be restructured. DJT, ladies and gentlemen, was a business person. He recreated this whole new world order for you and I, but for the good, not for the bad. And very good question to the beautiful Karen, as well as Red Cloud, because they are absolutely beautiful, humble beings. They certainly are. And yeah, what a very good question to have. So I just wanted to see if Agent 99's there, but Colorado Mama, if you were still in the house and still available, we could certainly finish off. Otherwise, we're going to say a quick hello to Agent 99. How are you? And then we'll finish up. Hey, darling, how are you?
Good. I just wanted to say you are taking us on an adventure this evening, and you're very mysterious now to me. And I want to say the U.S. is treating you good. I noticed, and you're real happy, so I love that. And I wanted to also say I'm going to be on the Peso Patrol and Gold Boulevard, and hugs and kisses to you, and love you, Mel.
Oh, I love you too. Oh, wow. That's pretty cool. And we like to go on an adventure, don't we? I mean, we've seen so much Agent 99 with all the war and everything else, honey. This was hope. I was sort of pushing to make sure that we sort of stay focused on really cool, different things, to take our mind off just focusing on what's the negative stuff and all the wars and things like that as well. So a big shout out to all of those who joined us this evening in our Q&A. It was a journey tonight, wasn't it? I like
so
to
much
do
fun.
that. It is fun. I can, like I said, I'm a very good talker. I could talk for another several more hours, but it is definitely on the hour, ladies and gentlemen. It is wonderful. It truly is a wonderful day to be alive and to be here with all of you. We're going to, Colorado Madam is there, and Double A. Let's have a quick hello, and we'll finish off with Colorado Mama and Double A. You would like to say hello, and T4R. I'm dyslexic today. Oh my gosh. and my finger is not warm enough to hold on. And double A as well. There we go. Who we got? There we go. The last three.
20 minutes.
Hitting on the hour.
Tomorrow.
We'll have a quick
Bye,
hello
Mel.
to AA. How are you?
Good, thank you. Glad to hear that you're doing well in the US. I just had 2 quick questions. First one is, what do you think will be the scare event that happens, hopefully worldwide, and what might that be to you?
Oh, aliens invasion. I'm hoping for an alien invasion. I don't think they can push anything else, can they? I mean, I know in California they're pushing some new diseases and all that sort of stuff. I don't think they can push that anymore. Is it going to be World War III, so to speak, World War IV with Iran, Iraq? I don't think so. As I said, what will be the scare event? There's been few prophecies, AA, about aliens actually arriving on the coastlines and things like that as well. So, look, whatever happens, happens. I'm thinking alien invasion is the only one that they really haven't hit yet. But when does that happen, though? That's what I want to know, is when does that happen?
Absolutely. And my last question pertains to Australia with the constant immigration of foreigners beyond the capacity for Australia to actually house people, especially in the rental market. Do you think that this is a deep state agenda, or is this to wake everyone up to understand that the white hats are showing you that the government doesn't, care about the traditional Australians, or what do you think's at play there?
I think it's a combination of all of that, to be quite honest. I've been keeping a very close eye on it. I know over in Western Australia they had 40,000 from Bhutan arrive.
Wow.
And yeah, exactly. I'm fully aware of it. These people, believe it or not, I do know in the banking sector, if you were to go and have a look in the banking sector, there's a couple of very interesting articles. So Bhutan had 40,000 influx into Western Australia. These people were doing mostly things such as taxi driving and things like that, and small jobs. A lot of them were given visas that lasted 3 to 4 years. And the reason they did that was it was linked to this banking story that I found. In India, they done a deal with ANZ, I think it was, and they're bringing over quite an influx of Indians to come over, but they're here to do a certain job and a certain purpose. They're going to be working in some remote areas in Australia regarding the farming, the agriculture area as well. So again, as long as they are coming in legally, I don't have an issue with that. I know that the ones from Bhutan have limited access and things, as in the way of, like I said, I think they're 3 or 4 year visas, and they will not be extending those visas. They are here to simply rebuild the country. If you were to look at it as an Aussie point of view, there's not too many of us true blue Aussies left, is there, really?
No.
We seem to have sort of
if you saw the New Year's celebrations in Sydney or Melbourne, the video was pretty shocking to see. And as much as we've always been a multicultural country, I believe that the premise of coming here was that you would attempt at least to adapt and become, part of the Aussie culture. But do you think that this could also tie into excess deaths from the COVID vaccines or anything like that in order to repopulate the country, or is that not much of a factor?
Like I said, I think there's factors in all sorts and all of it. I think it's going to happen organically. Yes, we are going to have to need people to rebuild and to do the new building constructions, the new agriculture. Again, it's going to be, when I come back into Australia, AA will definitely catch up and go through that in a big depth conversation. That's a conversation that should be actually on a YouTube convo. for most Australians to go through that, because there's other elements that I found along the way. I remember, mate, I have worked so hard all my life. My very first time that I ever went to Australia Day celebrations was in Perth. And I was in shock and awe myself.
Wow.
I couldn't, I'm looking around going, where are the Aussies? Where I'm seriously, I was 46 years of age when the first time I ever went to an Australia Day celebration. I always worked on that day, or I always had something else on that day. I was traveling or whatever for work. And it was the first time I ever celebrated it. And I was like, where's the Aussies? Spot the Aussies.
Love ya.
And that was, like I said, that was about 8 years ago now. So I get where you're coming from. And I think as I come back into Australia, we're going to have some very big changes in Australia. I'm doing some sideline work with some other people in the political sector for Australia. So watch this space. So we'll definitely catch up when I get home. So
thanks for all your time. Thanks for all your effort. We love you so much. Have a good one.
No worries at all. T4R. And then we'll finish off with Colorado Mama. I'm sure she's got some really hot news because I know I have, and I can't talk about it. TR4 or T4R. I'm dyslexic. That's really bad. God is awesome. He is an awesome God. Yummy God. He is a yummy, yummy God, by the way.
Aloha meow from Honolulu, Hawaii. It's always a pleasure being able to catch you. And finally, I was able to catch you live out of all places, stateside versus overseas in Australia. I just wanted to say welcome, and aloha to you. Thank you for everything that you have done and all the years of following you. Mahalo nui. And you stay blessed.
Absolutely. And God is awesome. He certainly is. The beautiful Colorado Mama. Let's wind out this show, ladies and gentlemen. She's always got something special to share. How are you, chick?
I am
fabulous.
I'm fabulous. So the question of the night is can we do this to anyone that just happened? Now there is a question to be asked. So we have this little collection of an asset called Maduro.
Yes.
And just in the nick of time, almost like a movie, right? Almost like a movie. In the nick of time, silver that was supposed to end up other places was collected just prior to that. Yes. And I know why you're here in the States now. Yes, that's very good. But now let's talk about the other piece of that puzzle, because there's always a ripple in the pond when that penny hits. What else is happening? Because all the money that gets to Cuba comes from where? Do we know? Venezuela. Cuba depends directly. The interdependence between these countries is key. Go ahead. I hear the wheels. I hear the wheels turning.
Yeah. I was looking at Cuba just before the show, actually, and boy, is there some fascinating things. This has also got to do with ports. Their ports are also tied in, as I said, with the deportation of assets all the time through their ports, as well as children and trafficking, and they certainly. This was like a 9/11 event, Colorado Mamas, from what I've been told. This quite possibly could have been the ending of our new beginning if they hadn't come in and taken back what was rightfully theirs.
As I said, of the silver.
Because of the silver, yeah.
So let's just chat about that for just a moment, because this has everything to do with everything else. So some people want to talk about the silver. Some people want to talk about the gold. But by the way, the ratio on that right now is 57.82 to 1. Totally normal when it's supposed to be 13 to 1, right? Well, what's the difference between 13 and 57? 44.
44. Isn't that a good cue post to wrap up on Friday?
Yeah. But it's Sunday.
I'm just saying, wrap it up on a Friday. That'll be nice and sweet.
Just pick a day. So this is exciting because we have somebody who has been in the armpit of the world's manipulation of selections, as I call them, because we didn't have any elections anywhere. They were all selections. And so now we've got that. We've got the silver. We've taken over one of the largest suppliers of silver, and also oil, which we have some new technology. Did I tell you that? We have some new technology coming out.
Is there? Tell me.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, I think there's at least two. And the thing is, one of them is going to be able to handle oil in a new way. There you go. So kind of out of this world stuff, if you get my drift.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And so this is a very interesting night because all of a sudden, Cuba's got their chilies in a vice grip. Their entire money connection is done. They are broke. When we took down Venezuela, we took down Cuba simultaneously. So it's interesting that the illustrious Mr. T has enough testosterone to step out there and do what has to be done after he just shut down all the airports. I have a history with airports, big ones, big airlines.
Mm-hmm.
And when all these airlines shut down in the entire Caribbean, hello.
Puerto Rico,
Hey.
I did mention that one. Puerto Rico is a
Puerto
big
Rico.
airport, baby.
So I heard that Maduro kind of had the planes, the boats, and that maybe the train experiences along with the helicopter. He had several opportunities to test transportation. And he got new outfits, I hear.
Well, he did. Now, just one step back here.
Okay.
He actually had some visitors from several countries just before he was taken, by the way. A great distraction.
Is that right?
Yes, he had some visitors that were there not even an hour before he was taken. And I
It wouldn't
sort
be
of
a
kept...
foreign nature, huh? Wouldn't be a foreign nature,
Yes.
would it? Oh, I think so.
You know, who knows? But let's go. And the other thing I just wrote down, we talk about oil and we focus on oil. Let's focus on agriculture for a second. Because you talk about oil being part of the new off-world planet energies, so to speak.
Yes.
Let's have a look at what we already have here, especially in America. We have a large production of canola oil, correct? And we know
Correct.
that canola oil is not good for you to consume.
Ever.
Well, here's a little fun story for you because I'm really going all out in fun stories tonight. But canola oil will be converted into jet fuel for your new jets. That's
Very fascinating. You know, I'm a biochemist.
There you go.
Now, I heard that when you did.
Oh, mate, you're going to love what I'm going to be bringing up. I'm thinking about starting a new channel on YouTube, talking about biochemistry and science and all sorts of things. And, yeah, discovered a few interesting enzymes in our blood.
Yeah.
And how the body can actually heal itself. Yeah, very fascinating. So I'm a farmer, an ex-farmer myself, actually, hun. So talk about biology is that I talked about wheatgrass many, many years ago on the ABC radio when it wasn't as corrupt as what it is now. This is back in the day. And I spoke about this one less enzyme in wheatgrass juice to your actual human blood. And it came up in an article and I get excited about that. This one enzyme that can actually be activated in your body to help heal you of cancers and redo your meniscus tears in your knees and things like that as well. So yeah, very excited moving forward as to where I go with that. I will see. I will wait and see.
Talk about interesting things we have in common.
Yes. Oh, fancy that. How did
tomorrow.
that ever happen, honey?
According to the East Coast, you have a schedule tomorrow. Appointment tomorrow
Yes,
at noon.
I do. Yes, I do.
Yeah, tomorrow at noon, and it's going to be with Maduro and Comey.
Yeah, they're coming.
Yeah.
They're both having their same trials at the same time. How is that possible? Oh,
it's
because they're
magic.
connected. Because they're connected.
Now, this is real interesting because I also heard there's going to be a ton of houses for sale on white sale after this last event. You know why? Because the people who were participating in their incentive program for Maduro, like 60 out of the Senate, they have at least one house, maybe two, and they no longer want to own them, just like those rocker peoples, those Rother peoples. They didn't like gold anymore, so they sold theirs. Yeah. So these people have had all of their stuff donated to good causes, like all of you.
Yeah, it does.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a wealth fund in the United States. Have you heard that?
Yeah, we have one in Australia too. So
yeah, well,
yes.
they're making donations. They're donating all their stuff to the wealth fund. They're just great people, you know.
Yeah.
And they have all had code browns. All had code brown.
There's an interesting story about the brown line. Yeah, we'll have to get into that one another day. But yeah, look, it's very, very exciting, and I am so looking forward to seeing what comes out. To keep an eye on China. I think it was Mr. T and I were talking about China-Taiwan war, and I think there's going to be some interesting things come out of China. We're starting to see very similar activities occurring actually regarding their very wealthy elites over there are actually taking their money out of real estate and putting it into insurances, believe it or not. And I'm like, oh, if that's not a sign of the times, ladies and gentlemen, what that basically means, ladies and gentlemen, is that these people, as Colorado Mama has pointed out, are having their assets and that seized. I was almost wetting my pants with excitement and laughter reading this article about the Chinese wealthy people are going out and buying life insurance and things like that as well to invest in. So things are about to get very, very, very rocky. So enjoy the show, ladies and gentlemen. So
I just wanted to say this. If they're putting those monies into the cabal systems, they're going to win the prize of the cabal system. I think I've heard it's letters like FAFO kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you've heard that before.
Yes, I have.
They find out.
They certainly do. They certainly do. And we talked about Mad Monday. I'm hoping to see an absolute mayhem tomorrow. Everyone is going back to their regular scheduled programming, so to speak, tomorrow. So a lot of things and businesses are reopening tomorrow. So let's keep an eye on the markets, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just get this show on the road for this week. We are looking forward, very forward, to some exciting news coming out probably on Wednesday. So Wacky Wednesday, we'll see how we go for a Q&A. I may not have the opportunity to do that, but we will wait and see. A big thank you again to all of you for joining us here.
Okay, a lot of information there on her. Everybody wanted me to play her, so good. I'll save some of the videos for tomorrow and back at the regular time, 5 o'clock. Today I just want to come on early because we had to play her and everything. There's more time. So, thanks, Kay and Lucy, Tim, everybody. God bless everybody. Remember, please hit the like and Sub to the backup channel. Stay safe, stay strong. Keep the faith. Never give up. And Aunt Karen is still sick. Prayers out for Aunt Karen. Thanks, Paul. Yep. We'll see you all tomorrow if something breaks, anything big. Signing off, Chico and Dude.